told you I was gonna open with that. Hi, hello, hee and welcome. Hi, music lover. Hi, congrats on the first this time. Thank you for coming by the Mimic Manor. We're here to play some more Higurashi. Eto. I gotta turn on, where is the spooky Ane? Here she is. Because I have her with me today, so she goes in the corner right here, so she can watch you. She can watch you. Oh, no. Okay. Alright. So last time we played was actually supposed to be a Yay, thank you for the spooky skellies! Let's go! Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. But yeah, last time we played Higurashi was on a Deathmark night because Deathmark decided to bug out. But I figured out the bug so we can continue Deathmark tomorrow. But we did get to the spooky scaries of Higurashi, so it's exciting. It's very exciting. Let's see how it is do now that we are here. End of chapter 9. We just reached chapter 10. I don't remember how many chapters are in this game. But we'll figure it out. I have the second one in case we go over. Were there new tips to read? Oh, there was. Okay, what's a drug that makes you unalive yourself? Let's find out together. Let's cut to the chase. Is there a drug that causes someone to unalive themselves? I don't know if saying it is okay, so that's just where I am. Not directly, no. That's quite a roundabout response. You're saying there's one that does it indirectly? Something like that something that puts you in a unstable mental state like that? That's hard to say. What would a unstable mental state be? Like a person with a serious bipolar disorder. It's believed that people are most likely to attempt unaliving themselves when swinging from depression to mania. Hi, Bee! Welcome! Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate you being here. I hope you're having a lovely night tonight. Clinical depression and bipolar disorder are different. Clinical depression indicates a prolonged state of depression, whereas bipolar disorder is characterized by a passive depressed state accompanied by a very active manic state. Individuals with clinical depression suffer from low self-esteem and are quite pessimistic. Thank you, Bee. But rarely unalive themselves. They do not have the willpower to do so. Nor does mania on its own lead to unaliving. That has the opposite effect, filling the person with confidence and making them feel as though they're walking on air. Thus, they do not unalive themselves. That's interesting. Neither state causes unaliving, but when the condition changes, they might do so. There is a desire to unalive oneself in a state of depression, but they do not have the willpower to commit such a formidable act. But when they enter mania, they gain a burst of willpower and their body moves as they desire. I see. Man, this is such a great thing to talk about straight out of the gate on stream, right? I feel like I just knocked over my fly swatter. This kind of feels a little weird to read and pretty big assumption. Yeah, it definitely feels like, I don't know, it feels inappropriate. I don't like this conversation. I could skip it. That's how it goes. That's how the cookie crumble, I guess. So patients are given sedatives during that time to keep them from acting on their impulses. Then, was Tomitake bipolar? People who suffer from bipolar disorder generally... I'm not comfortable with this. Can I would like to skip. I'm just gonna skip. I'm sorry. Like, This is... I don't think this is very good for the start of the stream, nor do I think this is good to just... Yeah, do not have the willpower is ick. Yeah, it... I don't... I'm not comfortable with this. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. There we go. So pretending that that never happened, let's go to threat. Zet! Hi, Zet! Welcome! Thank you for coming by the Mimic Manor. I hope you've had a lovely time zone so far. Oh my god. For a hot second, I thought that said harem. I thought it said harem. I legitimately thought it said harem. I'm so sorry. I thought he said harem. And all he said was, herm? This would be quite the opening to a bonus scene. You're right? He's just like, did somebody say harem? Oh, God. Those guys just now, they had national diet badges. We went from a not great topic to threat. This is great, right? Right? From one good shoe to the next. Then it's prefectural assembly member and city councilor Sonozaki. That's interesting. The prefectural assembly member and the city councilor are related. It's dirty is what it is. They're shouting out each other's name during elections. While one is up for election, the other one holds an assembly, and they double up their campaign activities. Blatantly. Am I supposed to understand what they're talking about here? I don't know much about the stuff, but isn't that against the rules of an election? Mion is a Nepo baby? Maybe? I don't know. I thought threat was going to be about how Reina put a needle in our red bean mochi. Ane's least favorite scene in the original anime. It is a primal fear, though, so it's understandable that you hate it. I think your bear is having a problem.
He is having all kinds of issues. I don't know what's wrong with him. It is fine, I suppose.
I look over. Ane is still playing Baldur's Gate. I look over and Ane's bear, aka Bear Daddy, is kind of pacing in a circle while everyone else is just kind of wondering what he's doing. Anyways, as long as they have no prior consultation, there are no restrictions on their political activities. Okay. Kuma-chan, the investigation division is going to be pretty tough for you. Bear Daddy thinking. Yeah, B. Bear Daddy's thinking. Yes, it does take a long time to finish Baldur's Gate 3. I'm only in Act 3. I'm going at a snail's pace in my personal game. But I am very, extremely, undeniably emotional over Astarion, and it's terrible. It's, oh my god. I feel so much for this man. I want him to heal. I love Astarion so much. Help. Send help. Send help. I just want him to be mentally healthy and happy and hydrated and staying in his lane. His performance in the game is amazing, and honestly, the writing that they put into his story is so good too. One post I'm gonna lurk and I end up getting sucked into the chat. I mean, it's just, you just love it here. You just love being involved in the Mimic Manor, and the patrons and everyone who's here is just so delightful that you can't help it. I get the feel. I totally understand. I'm the same way. But no, B, I'm always happy to see you enjoying yourself. He can be hydrated. I mean, he can be hydrated with water, but my neck is always available, if you know what I'm saying. I keep talking about Baldur's Gate 3 every time I stream, and it's not even streaming Baldur's Gate 3. Are y'all sick of me yet? Oh, shush, Ben. I'm not suited for the intelligence division, because I'm dumb. Hey, it's me! That's me! I'm sure that's his preference. Listen. Even though you can lesser restoration away the debuff you get from offering your blood to Astarion, I take it. I take that -1. I don't even care about wasting Shadowheart's spell slot to get rid of my little -1 from Bloodlust. Like, just listen. I do it for my mans. Astral Luna! Hi guys, welcome! I'm talking about Astarion again. I'm sorry. We're supposed to be playing Higurashi.
Nosy.
I love him so much, though. He's so good. His character is so good. Gods. It's gonna be like Dragon Age 2 with Fenris all over again. I'm not gonna be able to romance anyone else because I'm gonna keep thinking about Astarion every freaking time. I just... listen, like, I want him to heal. But also his possessive evil route, though. But also his red flag mode. But also red is my favorite color. I want him to heal, but also I want red flag. But I want him to heal. Don't even get me started on Fenris's voice. Don't even get me started on Fenris's voice. I still lose my mind every time I hear the voice actor speak. In any game, in any content, it doesn't matter what it is. As soon as I hear him, I'm foaming at the mouth about Fenris! B mentioned Fenris, and now I'm feral. Is that the pasta salad, or...
No, it's
oh, it's cereal! That's even better! I get the crunch. Excuse my crunching. Astro Luna, if you guys don't mind spoilers, I will absolutely gush to you about Astarion later. I'm just saying. But I should get back to the actual game that we're here to play, because that's the whole point of this stream, is to play this game and not talk about Astarion, no matter how fantastic he is as a character. Oh, fuck. Okay, stop encouraging. Don't enable me on it. Okay. Anyways, I'm too dumb for whatever's happening right now. I don't understand what's happening, even though we stopped to talk about Astarion. There was a prefectural assembly member, Sonozaki, and the city councilor, Sonozaki. Also the mayor of Hinamizawa. If I get enough followers, I will set aside an entire stream just to talk about Astarion. Listen, I will do it. I can do it. Don't try me, B. I will do it. I'll probably talk in circles for like the entire 2 hours, but I will do it. Just talking about Astarion for like 2.5 hours while drawing Astarion. There will be lots of spoilers. Maybe if I finish Baldur's Gate 3, there will be lots of spoilers. I do it for some stuff too. Yeah, I mean, I could talk about Baldur's Gate 3 for hours. It's so good. Oh my god. Okay. Focus. Game. We're here for game. Higurashi. I'm gonna spoil you guys later on Discord. Don't worry. I'm gonna scream about Astarion. Okay. Anyways, all of them involved with the Sonozaki family. What crap? I totally remember what we're talking about. It looks like they were seen off by the department chief and the deputy chief. It came to me. I could go on at length about. I would listen to you going on about Legend of Zelda. Let's go. Yes, absolutely. Actually, I have a big old book of Zelda art over the years that I don't touch. I would ship it to you if you'd like it. Yeah, it's about as big as my high school yearbooks.
That thing is thick.
It's a thick boy.
Thick boy.
I'll send you pictures of it later if you guys want it, so you can decide if you want it. Yeah, no, our the high school that Anne B and I all went to. Their yearbooks were the size of dictionaries. And boy did they cost a lot. That's a story for another day. I wish we had tiny yearbooks. My elementary school had tiny yearbooks. My middle school had tiny yearbooks. And then my high school decided we're going to have yearbooks as thick as 2 textbooks. And those benches were heavy.
Not just regular textbooks, math textbooks.
No, not even math textbooks. Encyclopedias.
That's true. It was an encyclopedia, essentially.
Was it like 20,000 people or something? I don't think so. We were unfortunately in range for the rich bitch school. It was a lot of rich snooty people. It was not great. Anyways, looks like it came to me that night when the chief invited me to get some Odin. I thought that was it. Man, I am not following along with anything because I am so distracted by talking to you guys about Astarion and now about Zelda and then yearbooks. You have a lot of connections, so you might have heard something. Did you? Talking about how everyone in the local politics is related to Neon and breaking campaign finance laws. Thank you, Zet. That makes so much more sense, and honestly, could have summed this entire thing up like that, and I would have been on my way already. Thank you. Because I wasn't following anything. Nope, not a thing. Ma'am, I'll take a tofu fritter and a fish cake. A counselor barked at me in the police chief's stead. Oh my, is that so? Ma'am, I'll take another bowl. Prefectural Assembly member Sonozaki and City Councilor Sonozaki were both intimidating. Yeah, such political, much brain no function. Our snot-nosed career police chief couldn't even handle being yelled at by them. They're like Yakuza. A petition with your name came up regarding how the investigation of the... Stop! Stop! Shut up!
Called it, didn't I?
No! Why would you think that? I forgot to raise the price on that redeem.
Fool!
I'm a foolish fool!
You're a fool!
Listen, though. I'm so emotional about him. Okay.
And then I learned.
You freak out and I'm gonna log
Thank
in
you, I
just
am an
to-
idiot Astarion. What?
You freak out and I'm gonna log in just to start with you.
No, you're not. I will take your phone away. You're in the room. I will stand up and I will punch you.
This is true. This is very, very true.
The chat will hear the assault as I beat the crap out of you.
You'll still be laughing the whole fucking time.
They're just gonna hear. Okay. That did kind of hurt my hand a bit.
Don't do that.
Don't tell me what to do. You're not my supervisor. Goodness me. I'm not the faintest. Wait, petition. Oh, regarding how Hinamizawa. Okay. My brain is scrambled eggs right now. No need to play dumb. You're reopening the past cases regarding Hinamizawa. Aren't you? I've already got my hands full with Tomitake's death, actually. No. Just fucking stop! I swear to God, once I get the freaking yeet redeem working, I'm gonna just take little cutouts of Astarion's head, and then just people can just throw his fucking head at me, because that's apparently just all the audio's doing to me.
You should. That is exactly what that would be great.
It was supposed to just be dice, and now it's just gonna be Astarion's head.
Could be a combination.
Just fucking throw Astarion at me, just fucking yeet him at me, and I die. I'm never gonna progress in the story because of you guys. Oh my god. I do like a brief like 10-minute donathon or 2-hour donathon just to raise money to commission Astarion's voice actor on Cameo for some custom sound bits. Fuck. Don't take that seriously. I'm not gonna actually do it. I need water already. I haven't even gotten to the girls thrashing my throat yet. Really? If that's true, then there's no problem. There was a period of silence. While we were silent, we made headway on our food and drink. Whew, that was quite the feast. This month has been a bunch of losses for me, so my wallet was feeling the pinch. Much appreciado. Nah, it's nothing. Tell me a good horse again. I'll bet on the same one as you. Nyahahaha. I haven't been doing well there lately. I haven't been able to read the horses at all. Taxi! I'm going by train. The police chief is taking a taxi. I have my own car, but it'd be rash to drive it home. Can't blow it right before retirement with a DUI. Once you're retired is a different story, am I right? Just kidding, don't drink and drive. Yeah, I'm broke because of my gambling addiction. Was that Oishi-san talking about that? Because I can definitely see him being broke because of a gambling addiction. He looks the type. Even though he can still rattle off, it looks like his legs were already goo as I'm knocking over bottles. To try and grab these stairs so I can put my feeties up like a little noodle. That's very comfortable. Pushing him into the cab, I gave the driver the police chief's address. We'll see you again tomorrow. Happy New Year! Oishi-san. Yeah. The past incidents have all been closed. Stop lumping them all together. Those villagers half believe it's really a curse. Well, I'm not convinced. You're going to be retired next year, aren't you? Don't you watch... Mr. Delicious. Oishi-san, don't you watch the cop drama movies where there's always a cop who's 1 year away from retirement and then they die because they do something stupid? Don't be that stupid cop. Never announce your retirement. Yeah, never announce your retirement because that's when they'll get you. They're like, oh, it's prime time to get the cop because they're 1 year from retirement. Weren't you going to pay off your mortgage with your pension and move up to Hokkaido with your mom? Mother pines to return to the land of her birth. It's the least I can do. And the pension, well, it'll let me enjoy myself in Susukino. I'm assuming that that's a place with lots of gambling. The police chief may issue a special retirement salary raise, he says. A public servant's pension is calculated based on their monthly salary. So if you were to get a raise right before retirement, your bonus, 2 years worth of salary, would be inflated. And you'd get a heavy surplus of funds. That tends to be how it's done around here. Of course, it's not a custom that's thought of highly. Yeah, game the system. Hey, man, if you could walk away with more money, do it. The difference between the bonus and the pension is quite a bit. I'd expect nothing less exemplary from our egghead chief. But, well, they say our salary is compensation for our hard work, but in the end, it really just has to do with the passage of time. That's not something I can laugh at, but I'll laugh through it anyway. I don't think it's anything exemplary, but given how hard you've worked, it's not odd that you're getting that much of a pension. I'd like to get that much myself. If I can get it, well, of course I'd want it. Nah, I can't get into Oishi-san right now. Where's my girls? You'll get it. You're an adult, after all. Sorry for holding you up here, driver. Thank you so much. And the driver's like, no worries, I kept the meter running. I closed the door roughly, interrupting the chief's conversation a bit rudely. It looked like the chief still had something to say, but he just smiled wryly and waved. I waved in return. The cab sped up gradually and soon disappeared among the sea of lights. Oh, man. I wonder if I really can repay that loan. That had nothing to do with a threat. I mean, I guess it was a threat of like, oh, if you want to retire, you should stop investigating the Hinamizawa deaths. But that was a boring threat. I don't really care about Oishi-san. Tap, tap, tap. The sound of muffled footsteps stopped in front of the door to my room. A moment of silence, as if whomever they belonged to was ascertaining if I was inside. I'm gonna pull my microphone closer so I can talk softer. Of all the things I should have been doing, I continued on with my restless slumber. I was very much conscious, but my body hadn't caught up yet. The break from suspense and horror to hear about retirement planning in the local police officers. Honestly, right? It's like, listen, Higurashi, don't you know that I took a week off between streams? There's been a whole week for everybody to recover from the spooks. Even with danger bearing down on me from just beyond the door. It was as if I was completely paralyzed, unable to move. Without a doubt, this was sheer terror. Please, just leave. Hey, why isn't my body awake yet? If they came into my room right now, then... Oh! Huh? Yeah, I sprung to my feet and threw my covers at my mom, who was opening the door. It's just this bomb. You silly stinker. Whoa. Keiichi, what's the matter? Sorry. I was still half asleep. I thought it was still 1 or 2 a.m., but the morning sun was already streaming through the gap between the curtains. It felt nothing like the morning. Yesterday, I must have fallen asleep right after that. Then I should have gotten a full 10 hours of rest. But I didn't feel like that at all. My internal clock was completely screwed up, and my sense of balance felt off. I felt feverish, even though it was clear to me that I felt feverish enough that it was clear to me that I was still not well. Well, Keiichi, how are you feeling? Can you make it to school? I was well enough to go, but I wasn't mentally prepared for it. 10 hours of nightmares, not very restful. Yeah, that's very true. That's like when you're like a teeny tiny little potato and you just watch like scary movies for the first time and you think that there's like something in the ceiling staring at you in the middle of the night. So every time you wake up from a nightmare, you think there's something else watching you. I mean, not that I would know. I've never been scared of scary movies. Right, guys? Just kidding. I'm terrified of some scary movies. Not all of them, but some of them. Like, do not show me a wheelchair in the middle of an empty abandoned hospital hallway. I will yell and throw things.
Psychological horror.
Yeah, I like these books that get in the noodle. I was still plagued with the terror from yesterday. It was me watching The Exorcist on TV at 8. Well, yeah, my relationship with horror is weird. I don't have trauma stories of being traumatized by horror when I was little like a lot of people do. Mine is mostly my trauma when I was a child was going on a Universal Studios tour and having Jaws come up in my tiny child face. And now I can't look at sharks or sharp teeth. So that's me. That's what my childhood trauma turned into. And then I got into scary movies. Just as a fun fact for you guys. Not even, well, if the teeth aren't realistic. Like, I can handle the shark that Nimona turns into in the movie Nimona on Netflix. I can kind of handle Bruce from Finding Nemo. Bruce is kind of pushing it.
You're on the verge.
That's like, yeah, that's on the verge. Anything more than that, I can't handle. Like, I will never be able to watch Aquaman or The Little Mermaid live action. Or Jurassic World. Yeah, no, I have to cover my eyes on that one. And I can't play BioShock because being under the ocean gives me high anxiety.
And there are sharks.
Anytime there is ocean and a chance of sharks, even if it's just not confirmed, if there's just a chance, my anxiety goes through the roof. Yeah, I can handle Pokemon because Pokemon's not hyper realism. So I can handle Pokemon for the most part. Ironically, like, I can't handle a lot of sharp teeths, but like motions to the mimics on my screen. I can handle mimic teeths just fine. I can't do piranhas. But it's mostly just sharks. If it's just like I can't even think about it. Nope, I'm not. Okay, I gotta stop focusing on this because I'm getting bad mental images here. I was still plagued with the terror from yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that. If I had swallowed that needle, what would have happened? Yeah, yeah. Let's move on.
Why'd you have to say that?
It's in the law. I'm reading the game.
I know you.
Don't blame me. Blame the game.
I felt it in my spine.
Don't blame the game.
I do blame the game.
Blame the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Quite literally in this case.
Like all the vertebrae locked.
I know. It's listen, this is why I disassociate when reading sometimes.
Like, wait, what the hell?
It protects my spine from the tinglies. I disassociate while reading, but then also I read a lot of vengeance books. Anyways. Oh. Ashley, cover your ears. Or what if it had pierced my tongue? I'm trying not to let you hear me talk about the needle. As I shout about the needle at her. There was I'm sorry, just the image of you covering your ears. I know I asked you to do it, but God, it's so funny. There was undoubtedly a murderous intent, but I don't think that's all there was. If they really wanted to kill me, then there were other, more certain ways to do it. They wouldn't resort to such a dubious method as having me swallow a needle. Okay, I think you're in the clear.
Okay, no, okay.
Okay, you've laughed all of the icky out.
All the ink is gone now.
All of the ick has been giggled free.
Yeah.
The game's no longer scary because I'm just laughing it on it now. Meaning I didn't want to believe it, but going that far was just a threat from Reina and Mion. Aren't you glad you didn't die? But next time we'll use a more assured method. You know, like that. Something like sending a letter with a razor inside would have been a joke compared to this. Did you make it to the hospital? Did you take your medicine? Yeah, kinda. Something about my mom's dubious gaze bothered me. She seemed more concerned about her son missing 2 days of school rather than him being sick. It was definitely mental fatigue. I wasn't really physically ill. It'll be hard for you to get back on track once your daily routine is thrown off. Come on, get up. They say wellness is a state of mind. Right, that wouldn't fly in the US. If you don't have a fever, if you are not profusely vomiting and being sent to the emergency room, you have to go to school. Gods. United States system on anything regarding just human beings trying to live their lives is just atrocious. Parents were like that too. You'll recover from being sick, missing school. I almost want to say that I wish my parents were like that, but I didn't get sick much as a child or as an adult, so I didn't get to experience that. I maybe got sick once or twice out of like maybe a year if I was unlucky. But I did miss a lot of school against my will. That was fun. That's other trauma that we're not talking about though, so I'm just gonna pretend that none of this happened. But no, my brother used to get sick a lot when we were little beans, so he used to have to go to school sick, so I can understand that part. I'd heard that line many times before. I was given an award in elementary school for having perfect attendance, but it wasn't like I was healthier than everyone else. Come on, go wash your face. Breakfast is already ready. There isn't much time before Reina-chan comes and gets you. Mom's tone meant that I couldn't argue about it, so I had to give up on skipping a second day. I don't understand the point of sending your kids to school sick, though, because it's like, if they're sick, they're not functioning at full capacity anyways. They're not going to remember fucking anything from going to school when sick. Nothing's going to stick except for the fact that they're feeling absolutely miserable. What's the point of that? I don't know. That just sounds dumb. I don't understand parents. That's dumb. Anyways. Excuse me. By the way, were you the one who got bean paste all over their living room wall, Keiichi? You shouldn't do something like that. Your father was quite angry. I didn't feel particularly guilty for doing it, so I didn't have much of a reaction. Also, Mom didn't question me any further about it. But Mother, did you find the needle? I don't think she would be complaining if she went to clean up the red bean mochi off the wall and found a needle inside it. She headed back downstairs after she was certain I was getting up. What Mion said as she left yesterday, I'd hate it if you missed school tomorrow, came back and dwelled in the back of my head. What did she mean by that? I didn't even have to really think about it. She was saying, don't be absent. Keiichi is a messy eater. Taking that a bit further, it was the same as her saying I should just go about living my life as if nothing happened. Feels like nothing happened at all. Nothing at all. Stupid sexy Mion in her stupid sexy ski suit. If I showed any signs of acting unusual, it would probably result in them making their move. For example, maybe I shouldn't pay attention to someone like Oishi-san enticing me with something unusual. Meaning, if I didn't watch my mouth or did anything differently from the norm, in effect, it would end up flagging myself as someone who was not wanted. And it seems that was something that the girls didn't intend to forgive. So, if I just went along as normal, no harm would come to me. Was that how it was going to be? All that misery I experienced up until yesterday would almost creepily just fade away. It was an enticing deal. Just by forgetting everything I'd seen or heard these last few days, I'd be able to keep living like normal. There's no way such a selfish thing could.
Yeah, just pretend nothing happened. Everything's perfectly normal.
There's no way such a selfish thing could. I swallowed hard. I once again deliberated on the idea that I had just rejected.
Yeah, perfect coping mechanism. Just take all the weird stuff, shove it in a box. If you see something, say nothing.
Mion was probably a good person who had her friends at heart. She was giving me, who had mistakenly broken some rule of theirs, a chance. Was what I did really something so unforgivable? But Mion had given me another chance. She's saying if I just forget everything and kept on living like I had been, I'd be forgiven. Keiichi, your food's getting cold. Hurry up and get down here. Dana will be here if you don't hurry. Good point, Keiichi. When you put it that way, we should be grateful to Mion. Right? Thank you, Mion, for threatening our lives and making us realize the error of our ways, for questioning murder. I think. Is that what's happening? I don't remember. I'm coming. I crammed my textbooks into my bag and hastily made my way downstairs. I picked up my somewhat bland breakfast. It seemed that I didn't have much time. It was already past when I usually met up with Reina. Given yesterday's events, she'd probably be here in the next 5 minutes. I needed to be ready to head to school by then. I had to forget everything that happened the past 2 days. Forget it all and return to my normal life. For this to be normal, I'll have to be where I normally meet up with Reina. Today of all days, the rice was dry and hard to get down. Oh.
Bing bong ding dong.
I jumped at the sound and dropped my chopsticks. The redacted is very strong with this one. The what? That chime signaled that Reina had arrived. Mom hurried me along. Come on, Reina-chan's already here. The spoiler is oh my god, stop. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Oh, also, aha, I have 2 new animated emotes for subscribers. I finally made some for the animated ones. Come on, Reina-chan's already here. Hurry, hurry. The other one is a munch crunch. Crunch munch. Where is it? Chomp. Chomp, 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 chomp. See? With my little teethsies. My mother's merry smile and my gloomy face were polar opposites. Honestly, I was reluctant to see Adana, who was waiting there on the other side of the door. Exactly, yes, that one too. That emote exactly. Look at the little army of teas. We're here to munch. I love that. I'm very happy that I finally made some. Oh. Thank you. I'm very happy with them. The Reina on the other side. Was it the Reina I knew? I couldn't keep her waiting. I needed to do things as usual.
Morning!
An invigorating greeting filtered in from across the doorway. It's Dana!
I came since Keiichi-kun was a bit late. Will he be okay today, I wonder?
The manner in which Reina was concerned was, without a doubt, the Reina I knew. But that was probably only if I reciprocated. Forget everything from yesterday. Pretend as though nothing had happened. Oh, thank you for the bits. Oh my gosh. Guys.
I didn't even do anything to earn them. What are you doing? Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Forget about the gruesome dismount.
Oh, no. Oh, kisses from Luna. Oh my gosh. Oh, the cute boy. Cute boys are my favorite flavor. I'm focused. I'm focused. I'm focused.
Are you though?
No, I'm not. Shut up.
Zed! Oh! Bits. Thank you for the bits, too, for the cheers. Oh, you guys, come on. That's so cute. Thank you. And Ludus, yeah, listen, damaged is also a good flavor. I'm just saying, but... Astrolina made a very compelling argument.
Oh, come on. Don't stop. Oh, guys.
Never been called a good flavor before.
If I can bite, you is a flavor. I jump.
Oh, guys, come on. Cute boys are my favorite flavor. Me having come back from elsewhere in the house and just put on my headphones. B knows all my favorite flavor of fictional and real love interests. B has known me long enough to know probably 99.9% of all of my interests. If there's a 0.1%, well, I'll figure it out maybe someday.
I'm gonna munch and crunch.
Though I have discovered, especially in fictional situations, I apparently have a weakness for white or silver-haired elf boys. Example, Astarion, Fenris, and Urianger. That's just that specific genre is white-haired elf boys. There's plenty of other things preference, but I'm noticing a pattern recently. Our Witch Hunter Robin. Oh, listen. I would rewatch Witch Hunter Robin tonight if I hadn't already started a Yu Yu Hakusho rewatch.
Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Sleeveless astrology. Zet, you get me? Zet, you understand, Zet, listen. Zet. I absolutely lose my mind when it comes to Urianger and the astrologian garb. I absolutely, positively 100% lose my mind. Listen.
Saying something about wanting to bite him earlier.
If you see his back, you have to bite it.
That's what it was.
Just bite him.
Wow, your voice crashed. I'm definitely gonna have to make sure to make tea.
Listen, though, you have to. This is gonna live on the internet forever, but I don't care. Just bite him.
I do need to see the chat. Hold on.
I need tissues, I'm crying.
Where's Bob?
I don't know. I think it's in the basket again.
Oh, it is. I see.
I can't see. I need eyeballs. Where are my eyes? think I need to be put in the cage.
Maybe just a little.
I can't talk about Higurashi anymore. I can't talk about him anymore. I can't talk about him anymore. No more white-haired elfmen, please. Oh, I'm gonna absolutely lose my fucking mind.
I think you already have possibly maybe just a little.
Don't tell them that. God, blow my cover. Come on.
People.
Ugh.
Why would you say it?
I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, but also
So sorry.
my secrets are safe with you guys until I put them up on YouTube later. I wasn't trying to get distracted from the game, I swear, but then Zet mentioned Urianger and the Astrologian outfit, and I could not stop myself. Sometimes you just want to grab a man by the shoulders and sink your fangs into his back! I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh god. Clip my secrets? Clip my secrets to share them with the world? Is that it, Zet? Top 10 enemy betrayals. Okay. I'm just gonna take a sip of water. I'm okay. Don't you fucking say a word on it, I swear to God.
Honestly, I wasn't going to. I was zoning out. You just happened to be looking in that direction when it happened. I was like focusing past you on the tower thingy behind on your altar.
I want to do a collab, but all I want to do is watch Nuke Top 5 videos with you. Yes! The back is better than the boat, which is... I mean, listen, sometimes you want to eat the cake, but there's something about just a nice sculpted back that I want to harm.
Sometimes you eat those baby back.
I want to bite, and I want to claw. But mostly bite.
Yeah, yeah.
That is something I have discovered about myself over the years. I like biting. It doesn't even have to be in a sexual way. I just want to bite. I'm a cat. I just want to just want to bite. And that's why my animated emote is the chompies. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Luna gets it. Astro gets it. It doesn't. B, stop. We have to stop talking about Urianger. I'm never gonna focus on the game if we keep talking about Urianger. But Luna, Astral, both of you, I would like to watch ghost movies, videos, ghosts. Yes, Paranormal Activity. I think I'm gonna need tea sooner rather than later.
Oh, I actually might go ahead and get it started.
Yes,
I am
please.
feeling a lot.
Can you make me some tea? Can you make tea some tea?
Yeah.
Now that I've distracted myself thoroughly for 5 minutes screaming about Urianger's back, we're on a good track record of playing through Higurashi tonight, guys. And thank you for the hydrate, B. I am also drinking regular cold water right now.
And then I learned you're an idiot.
Listen, I am an idiot, though. Thank you, Astarian. How did my stream devolve into this? How did my stream become this? How are you guys all not sick of me yet? Fuck. It is by pure chance. It's when I have all you beautiful, lovely people in chat with me that I'm just here to talk with you guys, and it's just so much more fun than me just reading the text on the screen. Yeah, those redeems are right there. They really are right there, aren't they? Now I feel like I need to get that audio clip of me screaming about you have to bite his back and make that an audio redeem. Oh. Can't not push the button. Listen, I wanted Astaria to be there to call me an idiot, and that is why the button is there, because I am an idiot. The ultimate channel point sync. Oh my gosh. Oh, I forgot I was gonna look up some funny Psycho Stick, like, sound clips to put for redeems. Oh, man. I just want to make a lot of really funny, dumb sound clips for you guys to be able to redeem, because that's more fun. Oh, okay. Forget. Feels so dumb to just, okay, back to story. And, like, nothing happened. But here we go. I want, like, every vine. That's fair. Especially two bros chilling in the hot tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
Look at all those chickens.
I miss Vine. There's some gold there. I'm gonna stop coughing eventually. Oh, B, that's our favorite. Listen, if you mention that one in front of me, B, or Ane, we all start to quote it because we watch those ones like crazy.
You guys, I still haven't found my berries. What? I found these.
Never use Vine, but I have seen those memes. They are classic. They are classic. I never had Vine myself, but I used to watch the Vines that would pop up like everywhere else all the time. Yes.
I still haven't found my berries. What? I found these.
B mentioned it.
That's why it popped in.
Wait, where's yeah, Ane was making tea. Yeah, he was like, I was wondering where Ane was. There it is. Listen, communication by Vine is actually very accurate, though. It is the language of our people. It's just how we roll. Forget about the gruesome dismemberment. Forget about the mysterious deaths that happened the following years. Forget about the Forget about the people falling to their deaths and the terminal illness and unaliving and the lynching and the disappearances. Forget it. Forget all of it. Forget about the context for this scene because we were distracted. Exactly! Exactly! The mood is but the point is gone. This chaos and then the forget about the gruesome dismemberment. Yeah, right? It's like hard left turn. Forget that Dana and Mion were scary. Of course. Forget it all. Forget about everyone. Forget about the mochi, too. Forget. Dana, once again, asked to make sure.
Can you make it to school?
T just needs a just chatting session. I guess I do need a just chatting session. I didn't think anyone would want to come to one of those, but at this rate, I might have to do one. Yeah, I'm fine.
Great. Then let's go. Mi-chan is waiting.
Dana showed me her usual bright smile. I couldn't find any hint of deceit in her expression. My nervousness dissipated, giving way to relief. Aww, so sweet. Thank you.
I try to be an entertaining show. Listen, I try. But you see, Satoko-chan was so insistent she could do it.
As we were walking, Dana talked about a lot of different stuff, more so than usual. And then?
Satoko-chan is clumsy, so she failed no matter how many times she tried. Oh, she was so cute.
Everything Reina talked about was just silly nonsense, so I just replied every so often and laughed from time to time. It was a rather laid-back conversation. This voice, oh no, flashbacks to the dare game. I don't know why my brain said that dare was wrong, and I was reading that wrong. We passed by one of our neighbors, and they called out to us. Oh my, Keiichi-chan and Reina-chan, aren't you two a bit late today? Mion-chan said she was going on ahead. Weird game from last stream was a little cringy. Oh, yeah, it was the with like the punishment game after the cards or whatever. That was pretty cringe.
Uh-oh. Did Mi-chan look mad, I wonder? We need to hurry up, Keiichi-kun.
As we smiled and parted ways with our neighbor, they turned back towards me and stuck out a tongue. You have a tea party. Definitely supposed to chat at tea.
That's true. I suppose there's supposed to be conversation at the tea parties. And that's what we're doing right now. We converse because I love you, you love me. We have tea at the party.
Not expecting that, I couldn't help but crack a smile.
Keiichi-kun smiled.
Huh? What? Dana stopped and stared at me.
I was thinking that you still hadn't recovered from your cold since you seemed down this morning, Keiichi-kun. But now you seem fine. Fine!
With a grin, she gently poked my cheek. It was a bright, sincere smile. Hey, Keiichi Maibara. How can you still doubt Reina after she shows you a smile like that? Maybe I just had a high fever up until today, and I imagined everything that I thought happened because I was bedridden and delirious. I really hoped that was the case. If God would grant me just one wish, there's only one thing I'd wish for. Their death. I mean, I would want what happened in just the past few days. More specifically, from the night of the Watanagashi up until last night, I wanted all of that to have never happened. I wonder how many times I'd wish for these past few days. As long as Reina kept on smiling like this, I think it might just become reality. So, I wanted Reina to keep on smiling. Bruh. You gotta say it like you're throwing up the word, just bruh. I know what I want to name that VTubing group that Astra wants to make. Sugar in the Raw. Sugar in the Raw. That's actually really cute. You're not in chat. Shh. Player Baldur's Gate.
I'm looking up something.
Sugar in the Raw is very cute. I think that's adorbs. Okay. Keep on smiling.
So, Keiichi-kun.
Oh no. Oh god.
I can be one of the sugars? Yes. Am I the one that gives you cavity? Or am I the one that delights your taste buds? Ooh, I don't know. Guess you'll have to find out. So, Keiichi-kun, those mochi yesterday, did you eat them all?
B. That vain wish of mine was instantly shattered. My heart began palpitating. The relaxed morning mood suddenly became frigid. Reina's smile was the same as her usual smile. Her eyes were gentle as usual. Those mochi yesterday, did you eat them all? Of course she wasn't asking the question at face value. In other words, Reina was asking, did you get the message? She was probably trying to convey that.
Keiichi-kun.
I was reluctant to give an answer. Dana stopped walking, and I stared deeply into my eyes. Don't hesitate, Keiichi Maibara. Dana was acting the same as always, wasn't she? I needed to respond in my usual way. Naturally, of course. But both my throat and mouth had gone dry, and my lips were stuck together. Hurry and answer, Keiichi. Not that much time had passed. I could still keep the conversation going naturally. I had to say something quickly.
De?
Reina playfully mimicked what I said when I finally squeaked something out. Yeah, just say they were yummy and ask for more. Nana's reaction was still normal. It seemed that there wasn't as long of a pause as I had thought. Somehow, I had squeaked out the rest. Delicious. However, my strained effort neither sullied nor brightened Reina's expression. For a moment, I panicked, thinking I had replied incorrectly. Needle flavored, how interesting. Are those the local specialty? That's fucking hilarious. I love it. I thought I felt something on my hand.
It was either a moth or a spider. Blech.
But after a few moments...
Yummy, I know, delicious.
But after a few moments, Dana broke into her usual soft smile and giggled with a joyful voice that seemed to echo through the morning air. Being strung along by that laugh, I couldn't help but laugh as well.
I see.
Oh no.
So did you eat all of them, I wonder? I wonder.
My timid smile froze again.
Real quick, hold on a second. I'm gonna join in the poke catch here. Boop.
Sneakily toss them behind the nearest potted plant and pretend you ate them. Apparently that's what my elder fam did with their peas. Oh my god. It's such a classic move though, isn't it? Just to like hide the gross vegetables that you don't like in a I don't know, potted plant under the table, stuff like that. I was never that child, but I remember seeing it in sitcoms all the time. This was Deeds by the... Oh my gosh. That was... Deeds used to do that? That's actually quite funny. I love that. My smile froze again. Did you make it without swallowing the needle? Was that what she was asking? If I had swallowed it, then I wouldn't be here. Nah, I couldn't finish all of them. There's still some left. I was scared out of my wits, but that's how I played it.
Huh? What about the homework to see if you could tell which one Reina made?
That homework was it due today?
Yeah, it's due today. Mi-chan will get angry. There's probably a penalty game ready for you.
Yeah, a penalty game for not listening to the threat, right? Yeah. We both laughed at each other again. To a casual observer, it was just a typical morning. If I could just let myself believe, then even I'd think it was just the usual morning routine. But I was certain I wasn't mistaken. There was something unimaginable buried beneath the facade of this giggling Reina. Usotsuki.
Usotsuki.
Well, I guess that would be liar, but whatever. Same difference. I recalled that unexpected, piercing voice that I could hardly believe came from Reina's mouth. Wait, wait. I can't I can't apparently read hiragana right now. Oh, uso. Yeah, okay. Usoda. Usoda is okay. Usoda is lies, and usotsuki is liar, right? If I'm remembering that right. I I need to practice my hiragana again because I bet. Okay. Usoda, isn't that the rabbit VTuber? Oh my gosh. Uso also means loud. Oh. That's fair. I mean, obviously the words mean different things in different contexts. It was so funny. My niece has been playing this like story game where like the characters say little quips in Japanese and stuff. And so she keeps asking me what they're saying. But she's trying to tell me herself but isn't saying the words properly. So I'm like, "Honey, I have no idea what you're trying to attempt to say, so I can't figure it out." Oh my gosh. But I will learn. Auntie T, you're a weeb, right? Teach me what they're saying. I mean, basically, that's basically it. Well, it's also because no one else in her house watches anime, so it's like cool weeb Auntie T is the only one who she can talk to about the cool anime she just watched. So I get the pride and joy of talking to her about anime, and like she shows me all her drawings, and I just get to enjoy spending lots of time like that with my niece. It makes me very happy. She takes after me quite a bit. It makes me very proud. I I love my niece and my nephew very, very, very much. I recalled that unexpected piercing voice that I could hardly believe came from Reina's mouth. The moment that image crossed my mind, I felt a cold sweat trickle down my back. Was it only that a brain. Come on, brain. Come on. Was it only that a particular time I'm sorry. My fucking brain just shut down. Was it only at that particular time that something evil had possessed Reina? Thank fuck I made it through the sentence. Why was that so hard? Oh my god. Oh, fucking my brain just shut down. No, that was wrong. It was still Reina. Oishi-san told me, didn't he? Actually, I looked into her. Before Ryuga-san moved away to Hinamizawa, she was suspended from school. It seems she went through her school building and broke all the windows. Oh, hi Reina, I wasn't expecting that.
Reina smash. Reina crush. Reina smash. Reina murder.
Reina had a disorder that normal people didn't. It really is a very loose definition. No matter how pleasantly she smiled, that fact would not change. But I couldn't even imagine how she looked as she broke all the glass throughout the school. One thing I knew was that it wasn't something spur of the moment. If it was some sudden outburst of anger, then maybe she'd break a pane or two. But she broke all of the windows, all throughout her school. Just imagine going through your own school, breaking the window with the bat. Oh. I wasn't expecting sound effects. Puts needles in your mochi. You can't get mad at me. I'm literally neurodivergent and a minor. Dana is the kind of neurodivergent I strive to be. A neurodivergent idol, everyone. Get better idols. Pit is swinging full force at each pane of glass, one after another, paying no heed to the flying shards. your classmates aghast, unable to move from the sudden turn of events. I wonder where she could have found the most windows lined up in a row. Probably the hallway. Walk, wind up. Walk, wind up. It was difficult for me to connect that horrifying image with Lorena smiling at me right now. But I just had to imagine it. Impossible because it was unimaginable. That naive way of thinking no longer worked. The unpleasant, piercing sound of shattered glass, the crunching noise as Reyna tread across the broken shards, walking towards me. Dana's classmates going pale as they forget to even breathe. I wonder what they did as Reyna came closer, breaking windows along her path. Did they earnestly try to bring her to her senses by saying something? Or did they jump at her, trying to stop her savagery? Or did they run to the staff room after being directed there by the teachers? Probably none of those. In the face of that blood-curdling sight of Reyna busting window after window, undoubtedly all they could do was silently clear a path for her. Dumbfounded, just clearing the path for Reyna to continue. It was far too violent an act for them to seek refuge by looking the other way. That's not to say they were looking the other way. They were doing the only thing they could do to protect themselves. If they had done something differently from the rest, they may have suddenly found themselves as Reyna's new target. Oh, are your hands full of window-smashing hammers? Please, let me hold the door for you, Reyna.
After you, my lady.
Sit up a bit more. What would Reyna have done to whoever attracted her attention? The answer was obvious. She would have undoubtedly acted according to her whims. Meaning, I would, be the next window. Dana stared into my eyes, shards of glass crunching and crackling underfoot as she drew closer. I was also drawn into her eyes, paralyzed.
Oh. Pardon me, Reyna. I'm sorry I was in your way. Oh, God. Oh, I'm sorry I was in your way. Oh, God. She just keeps going.
Then Reyna struck me with the bat, over and over again, like I was one of those windows. I crouched down on the floor, desperately protecting my head. Dana didn't care whether it was my head or my back. Zealously, she hits me again and again.
Keiichi, is this some kind of awakening fantasy? I didn't realize that you were into this kind of thing.
What kind of expression was she making as she was doing this over and over again? I peered up to see. Her expression was so indifferent, it was completely unnerving. It's because no matter how many times she struck me, I didn't make a pleasant sound as the other I didn't make as pleasant a sound as the other windows. Okay, I have to click every time it does the sound. There we go. She struck me continuously, over and over again. The sound Reyna wanted didn't come out. Our classmates standing around didn't try to stop her. They didn't want to be the next window. Somebody save me. Turning a blind eye unless we're hanging out. But of course, everyone in class scrambled to obtain the highest standardized test scores. They'd gain nothing from saving a cram school tryhard like me. Oh, Jesus.
Blech.
Eventually, there would be a faint sound. Oh, it's just the tag. I felt something on my foot that wasn't there before.
You freaked out. I was getting ready to need to get up.
I thought there was something there, but it was just a tag. It's okay. I'm okay. Don't worry.
Okay.
I scared myself. Eventually, there would be a faint sound, similar to when you crack open a walnut and some sort of reddish black spray would shoot out. And just a needle, don't worry about it. Thanks, Zet. I appreciate that. I'll just pull the needle out of my foot. Anyway, it wasn't that Reina momentarily lost herself in anger. After forcing myself to breathe and calming down my heart, I recalled what Oishi-san told me. And in the counselor's medical report, he recorded all of the conversation he had with Reina-san. It shows up. And quite a bit at that. What does... She mentioned the word Oyashiro-sama. Following that, Reina was suspended and had regular examinations at the hospital. Then, as Reina was undergoing counseling, she said it over and over. Oyashiro-sama, the god of windows. And yet, when I read the god of windows, I didn't think of like actual glass windows. I thought windows is in the computer operating system. Oyashiro-sama. It seems that the Oyashiro-sama she spoke of was like a ghost appearing in her house every night. Reina praying Bill Gates before going on a murder spree. Stop. This game's never gonna be scary. I'm okay. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna take a moment. Y'all, that's too funny. I'm a fucking die. I'm just gonna keel over and cough myself till I up a lung. Okay. Oyashiro-sama was like a ghost appearing in her house every night, standing over her pillow looking down at her. And that was only a piece of their conversation, so I still couldn't see the big picture. But it was by no means a happy little conversation. Then, what Reina did was she just saying that ghastly incident was a result of her being possessed by Oyashiro-sama. Up until now, I didn't want to believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's why I wanted to say the mysterious deaths every year happened because of some sort of conspiracy. Every time I talked with Oishi-san, I was more certain that the deaths were the work of men and not some curse. Every night, Oyashiro-sama would sneak into Reina's house, try to install Windows 11 on her computer, and every morning she would have to cancel it when she woke up. The god of Windows. Do 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 do. Fuck. If you keep speaking such blasphemous accusations about our Lord and Savior Oyashiro-sama of the Windows operating system, you're gonna make my computer crash. What if my computer crashed though, just like when I was playing Taisho Alice, and just because we're talking about Oyashiro-sama? Oyashiro-sama, may he smite me down. Every time, yeah, except if it was people perpetrating the incidents, my friends were somehow deeply connected. When the spooks get too real. What? Yeah. Go ahead and kill her, because otherwise she's gonna go fight, the the survivors. Yeah, you want to beat the crap out of her. You want to unalive that Ginch. Binch. I don't know why I put a G on there. It was Binch. I just turned the... don't worry about it. Anyways. If I refused to believe that the curse was real, then I would have to believe those who acted the kindest to me were deeply involved in the incidents. Why? How? For what for what reason? Sorry. That was such a meme thing that I used to do so many years ago. For what reason? It shows up here in this fucking game. Was Reina? Was everybody? Thank you, Zet. It was much more painful and troublesome than accepting that it was just Oyashiro's curse. Excuse me, Keiichi-kun, that's Oyashiro-sama. Show him his due respect. In the aftermath, Reina had admitted to her doctor that it was because she was possessed by Oyashiro-sama. I felt a strange sense of relief from that. So that's how it was. There wasn't a second side to Reina. She did that because she was possessed by something strange like Oyashiro-sama. It wasn't Reina's fault. Oyashiro-sama was the one to blame. I knew. This was all backwards. Refusing to believe there was a curse, I wanted there to be a human perpetrator. Now that my close friends were the ones under suspicion, I changed my beliefs at my own convenience, saying it was Oyashiro-sama's curse to blame. Which was the better choice? Accepting that Oyashiro-sama's curse exists? Or that Reina and the rest of them were deeply involved in the string of mysterious deaths? I didn't want to think about it. If I just didn't think about it, I'd be able to continue the same as always. I wanted to believe that. But that was no longer possible. I had received their message. It was pathetic of me to try and bend the meaning to my own convenience. Let's meet in the middle. It was done by humans because they were possessed. Yeah, I don't think that helps. Ane, can you change the mode of the AC just to fan for now, and then we'll put the AC on after stream? Yeah, you had it when it said F2. There you go. That way it won't be so loud. Regardless of my opponent, being a human or curse, I won't let it kill me. As if I would just bend over and give in. For no good reason at all. But, oh. We're here already?
Keiichi-kun, you've been making a really weird face. Why, I wonder? I wonder.
Inhaling sharply upon hearing Reina's voice, I came back to my senses. Before I had realized it, we were already at the entrance. Shaking my head for a few times, I exorcised all those terrifying thoughts. No matter how you looked at it, there's no way Reina could have done such terrible things. It was like I was trying to placate myself. Or placate? I always get confused on that one. Placate? Placate? I can't read! I play visual novels and have a light novel collection, but I can't read. I believe it's placate. Okay. Nah. Tomato. I'll just question it for the rest of my life. It's fine. I hope we weren't talking out loud while sleepwalking to school. Imagine if he did monologue all of that out loud to Reina while he was walking to school, though. And she's just like,
That's right, Keiichi-kun. It was all Oyashiro-sama.
As I slid the door open, a blackboard eraser loaded with chalk dropped down on my head the moment I stepped into the classroom. The chalk dust went into my eyes, introducing a brief moment of agony.
How befitting for the truant Keiichi-san.
I'm gonna push the microphone away now that I have to be loud.
Good morning to both of you, Keiichi and Nana. Nipa! Good morning, Satoko-chan, Rika-chan.
Not quite in the mood for it, I didn't really react to Satoko's trap. Satoko braced herself as I passed by, expecting me to attack her. She seemed a bit disappointed as I simply walked by silently.
What's this? How discouraging indeed. Keiichi doesn't seem to be his usual self today.
There's nothing like a good nipa to soothe. Yeah, there's nothing like a good nipa to soothe your nerves and make everything feel normal.
Me. Yeah. Take it easy on him for today, okay?
Suddenly, there was a slap down on my shoulder. It hurt a bit. Hey, Keiichi, did you get enough rest? It was Mion. My mind was full with the stuff about Dana, but Mion was also a party of interest. Remember, Keiichi, that hawkish gaze from yesterday. Yeah, morning. What's with the unenergetic greeting? Did you eat the mochi I brought you? Because I ate them, I'm like this. Those words were itching to be blurted out. I really just didn't have the appetite. I ate a few, but quite a lot were left over. Huh? What about the homework? Do you still have an answer for which one's Reina's?
I can't believe you forgot your homework, Keiichi-kun.
Sheesh. Then we can't help it. It's time for your penalty. Me. Flashing a lurid smile, Mion returned to her seat. What's the penalty? There was nothing from our exchanges that would cause our classmates to suspect anything was amiss. The original mitten hand art, Mion was randomly always just carrying a gun and it made things... Yeah, Mion just always, like, had a gun on her. Like, no joke. Like, why? Why does she always have a gun on her? For what reason?
For what?
For what reason? ¿Por qué? But of course, anyone listening to our conversation up till this morning wouldn't see anything suspicious. That was why it was so frightening. Texas Minion. Texas Mion. Everything's bigger in Texas. They acted in a way that, regardless of whatever happened to Keiichi Maebara, no one would ever suspect them. That fact had me terrified. Soon, the teacher came. After she asked how I felt and took attendance, another dull, ordinary day began.
Higurashi no naku koro ni, ho. Hume hara hare hu.
Okay. This free study period was a convenient time to consider where I stood.
Oh, okay, more exposition.
I gently closed my eyes and pondered the ridiculous position I was in right now. First of all, what I shouldn't forget was how dangerous of a situation I was in. I had fallen out of favor with them. After interacting with Oishi-san multiple times, I could see it as I was getting closer to the heart of the matter. The warning yesterday with the mochi was a good indicator of that. No, calling it a warning was just a habit of understanding things, or just my habit of understanding things. It probably had no meaning beyond stunting my progress and buying themselves some time. Until they had a method of completely erasing me, they were just biding their time. Even though they were keeping me under their thumb with threats, it didn't change the fact that I knew too much. The chilling sensation of my desk made me recall Satoshi Hojo, the boy who was using the seat until last year when he disappeared. Was he also similar to me? Did he learn something he shouldn't have and was erased? Damn. Let me move my cup. I wouldn't let them get rid of me so easily. Never. But were they really trying to kill me?
Yep. We had already heard about Satoshi. Just a little bit. We found his card last time we played. Which, again, was last Tuesday. We had to do a spontaneous Higurashi stream. But we did find out about that last week. Because of reasons. And then Oishi-san filled us in on he went missing and stuff. I've had these contradictory feelings for a while now. Even though I suspected them, I felt I had to cover for them. With all of their suspicious behavior, a morning like this made it all seem like an elaborate hoax. No, that's just what I want to believe. Doubting my friends? Covering for them? My life was in danger. Or was it? Actually, I was debating the wrong point. Arigato.
Given my current situation, I can feel the heat radiating off the cup. Holy shit. Okay, I have to wait to drink my tea.
I'll wait for a break for your coffee.
I appreciate it. Given my current situation, those points were something that should have been deliberated a long time ago. But really, Dana and the rest of them, were they actually aiming to kill me? The little voice inside me continued to torment me with these unresolved trains of thought. Are you an idiot, Keiichi Maebara? The answer should be obvious. But maybe that sewing needle might have just been an accident, right? How could you screw up and drop a sewing needle into a piece of mochi? The benefit of the doubt can only go so far. Both Reina and Mion had acted and behaved suspiciously, but maybe it was all some sort of misunderstanding. What kind of misunderstanding? It wasn't just suspicious. It was outright ludicrous, right? Yeah. Oops, I accidentally dropped my sewing needle. Tee-hee. Dana just corrected me for lying, and Mion only asked me about what I had for lunch. Dana was standing outside our door, eavesdropping for a good hour, you know. She was. Probably just waiting for my phone call to end. For a whole hour outside your room? And is it normal to go home afterwards without saying anything? You heard from Oishi-san, didn't you? About what Reina did at her former school. But at the hospital, she said it was Oyashiro-sama's fault. She... Cut it out, Keiichi Maebara. Don't you realize they're out to kill you? I inadvertently blurted those words out loud. Oh no! Now the thinking is on the outside of the brain noodle. Hearing myself say that so directly left me dumbfounded for a few minutes. Afterwards, I had to look around to check if anyone else had heard it. My little soliloquy cut a little too close to the truth. Even though I could feel the murderous intent from Reina and the others, part of me somewhere was still trying to deny that. This late in the game, such hesitation could be fatal. I knew that. But I was just your average student, a man living his normal, ordinary life. Do you think I could suddenly believe my friends, who I had been happily laughing together with up until last Sunday, now intended to kill me? Right? You're too soft, Keiichi. This time I remembered to keep my voice down, so only I could hear it. Yeah, you know, still talk to yourself. That's perfect. It's okay. There was only one thing I now understood. I was too soft.
Well, he's squishy.
I didn't completely understand how dangerous Dana and the rest of them were. No, I wasn't trying to understand. I was too soft for not listening to Oishi-san when he was earnestly showing me the heart of the matter. I didn't listen because I was too busy pretending to be dejected. I didn't comprehend it. I was just running away. I didn't comprehend it, so nobody had any notion to try and kill me. I didn't comprehend it, so nobody had a notion to try and kill me? I needed to get rid of such naive thoughts. As I made that resolution, I heard the bell signaling the end of class. So soon. The day was already over. I didn't recall eating lunch or doing anything in class. My friends were putting their desks together in preparation for club activities. Not long ago, I would have happily jumped into that circle.
My, Keiichi-san. How rude of you to even think about leaving.
The way Satoko spoke was so typical and familiar, it almost physically hurt.
Huh? Keiichi-kun, is today not a good day, I wonder? And we were going to win big together. Oh.
Seeing Reina's expression, which said she was really looking forward to today, was hard to take. Hey, Keiichi. Maybe Oishi-san is just some enormous jerk trying to separate me from the others by lying to me. Yeah, sorry, Reina, it's just that time of the month.
Slap.
Trying to expunge such weak-minded thinking, I slapped myself in the face.
Keiichi-kun.
Yeah, was Reina really trying to kill me? I wish someone would tell me it was a hoax. I didn't care if it actually was one or not. I just wanted someone to say it was. Yet another weak-willed thought. How did I ever become this naive?
Are you alright? Does your head hurt?
Apparently that was how my inner dilemma appeared to Dana.
You're pale. Can you make it home by yourself? Maybe I should accompany you home, I wonder.
No, it's okay. Sorry. I can get home by myself. Just have the meeting without me. Upon hearing that I wasn't going to participate in the club meeting, Mion pouted unhappily. Since Kei-chan was so bent on a revenge match, we were even going to play that deduction game from before too.
Keiichi-san doesn't have the burning desire for a rematch? How pathetic. Bleh. I need to fix Satoko's voice.
Wouldn't fall for some dumb taunt. Without even a real retort, I just grabbed my bag and was about to get up. Someone's hand perched itself gently on my head.
Keiichi doesn't seem to be too well. How very unfortunate.
It was Rika-chan. She was stretched up as far as she could, doing her best to pat my head with her petite hand. It felt so nice, which made things even harder. Sorry, everybody. See ya. That's all I said as I quickly left the classroom. They said something to me as I was leaving, but I couldn't make it out. I managed to make it all the way to the entrance in this state of mind, took out my shoes, put them on, and went forward. Forward. Harden that heart, Keiichi Maibara. They were, for some unfathomable reason, trying to kill me. They were plotting something dubious, watching my every move. Oh, we're gonna play Guess Who? I believe so, yeah, I guess. Or, no, I think it was the one that's more like Clue. Are we just gonna run away in the middle of the school day? I think the school day ended. He's running away from club activities. He's just kind of zombie through the whole day. Which, honestly, though, same, bro. I want to just zombie through the day. Where was I? They were plotting something dubious, watching my every move. But I couldn't hate them. Because weren't they my friends? Part of me lamented my naivete, while another part lamented the fact that I had lost something important by lamenting over it in the first place. It felt like my consciousness was being ripped out of my body. If this was what Oyashiro-sama's curse was like, then it was just too harsh. Hey, Oyashiro-sama, I was wrong for not believing in your curse, but I believed in it now, completely. Your curse does exist. So seriously, give me a break. I beg you, come on. I repent. Gomenasai, Oyashiro-sama. Gomenasai. Forgive me. Dinner was unusually bland. It had no flavor or aroma. The miso soup that normally tantalized my appetite instead tasted like nothing but boiled water. Dad was eating with us that night. It was a rare occurrence in this household. When he got into his work, he ate and slept on his own schedule. My dad never cared about the time. Since my dad was at the dinner table, it either meant he had reached a good point to take a break or he was in a slump. So yeah, he just doesn't understand the motivation creators have.
Oh, sorry, Harley. I mean to spook you.
Your partnership was just a verbal agreement, wasn't it? If it's so hard to agree on things, why not just end it? I feel like it's an industry with a lot of back scratching, but when it gets in the way of business... I wasn't able to pick out much of my mom and dad's pick out much of the conversation, but I could tell it wasn't a very pleasant topic. That, of course, made the disgusting food even less appealing. Staring listlessly at the exchange between my parents, my mind wandered off to the same thought process I had all day long. Friends close to me. No, they used to be my friends. But I could no longer trust them. Right now, I was greatly lacking in allies. Just talking about adult things, business at the business factory. Yeah. Businessing at the business factory. I love that.
I'm just businessing. I'm businessing at the business factory.
I shouldn't talk about TREATS or Ashley will get excited. What you talking about? Taxes.
Oh.
People I trusted. People I could depend on when push came to shove. They were something I just didn't have. Having just one ally would have been incredibly reassuring in the currently hopeless situation I was in. I put down my chopsticks and looked over at my parents, who were still talking about work. The first course of action that came to mind was to tell my parents everything. Currently, there wasn't a single person from Hinamezawa I could trust 100%. That meant the only people I could trust were my parents. But if I told them everything that happened up till now, would they understand? Right? Tell them. Either they will believe you and help you, or they won't believe you and they'll put you maybe in a mental hospital for a little while and it gives you a break from everybody, right? Yeah, no, heaven forbid there be communication in any anime whatsoever. Especially a horror anime. Dana, for example. That neighborly Dana who was so diligent in looking after me came to get me every day and sometimes brought over a share of what she made. How could I explain that she wanted to kill me? No matter how I explained, it would probably be difficult for anybody to comprehend. My somewhat eccentric dad wouldn't understand, and my high-strung mom would probably drag me to a psychiatrist in the blink of an eye. Sadly, that was the amount of trust that existed in our relationship. Even if they did come to understand, what could they possibly do? Unless they could uncover the truth, they wouldn't be able to protect me. No, by informing them of these unnecessary things, I'd be putting my parents in danger as well. Tell your parents you cheated on her and that's why she's trying to kill you. Yeah, right? You cheated on her with Mion, and then Mion found out that she was also being cheated on, and now they're both out to get you because you're a dirty, dirty cheater. Considering that victims in the past incidents were often married couples, I couldn't even joke about it. For the entire Maibara family to have an accident or just to vanish into thin air, it was entirely possible in Hinamizawa. What was important here was that knowing something unnecessary put you in danger. The most unsettling question was, how did they know what I knew? As long as they didn't know, my parents might not fall victim. That was one way to think about it, I guess. At least it was like that in my case. After I found out, things started becoming odd. In other words, it meant the following. As long as my parents didn't know anything, nothing would happen to them. As long as my parents were here, this house would be a safe haven for them. I knew these were just assumptions based on conjecture on top of conjecture. Wanting this house to be a safe haven, that was the pinnacle of my weak-willed method of thinking. I had to concede that it was not completely safe. It was only safer than the outside. I knew that I couldn't rely on my parents? No, I couldn't risk getting my parents involved. Then the only person who could be my ally would be Oishi-san. Him and him alone. He was the only person who understood the situation I was in. He didn't care so much about my safety, but he was, without a doubt, passionate about solving this case. It was a bit frustrating. Oishi-san was basically the whole reason I was in this mess. Now to get out of it, I had to rely on him. Meaning, it was all going according to his devices. It was just my job to look appetizing while bobbing in the waves as bait. Then, when the fish started gathering around, Oishi-san would pull up the big haul. It was slightly infuriating, even though I thought that was the best course of action. But even then? I misread that. So then, what should I do? Patience was the first rule of fishing. Just keep waiting until the fish actually bites. But I wasn't simply bait. There were lots of ways for me to struggle before being devoured. When they struck, I needed to somehow dodge just enough to tag out to Oishi-san. No question, it was going to be hard. The timing to bring Oishi-san in would be difficult. He was in the city, not Hinamizawa. So if I phoned him in my moment of need, it would take him about 30 minutes to reach me. So I needed to run away for those 30 minutes. For example, if we set up a rendezvous point for dire situations or something, I'd just have to hide out there until Oishi-san arrived. Okay, I can almost see it now. I was still being chased around in the dark by boogeymen, but now I knew which way to go. I would never have imagined this would be so reassuring. Oh, yeah. It would probably be best if I had a concealed weapon for when things got rough. Typically, that would call for a switchblade. But that wasn't too reassuring for combat. This boy is delulu. Are you saying he is delusional? Talking about getting weapons now.
I keep a wooden sword that a former coworker gave me next to my door in case of needing to beat something up. I also keep a minor. It's a minor weapon.
I keep a knife.
I have a sword, like an actual sword, hidden in my room. You'll never know where it is until it's too late. It looked pretty and I wanted the sword. It's not a cane sword. The sword is literally hidden just because it was the only safe place I could store it, and it was messy. My room is a mess. I need to clean. It is hidden among the mess. Not exactly safe, but I don't have a stand to hang it on right now. But cane swords are cool. I think one of the cane swords is a cane sword. I have to go check all of the canes in the bucket in the hallway. I think one of them is a cane sword. Also, since it was recognized as a since it was recognized as a weapon by the public, that also wasn't good. Is it a cane or a broom you're holding? I'm holding a broom. Here, I'll show you. I have broom. See? I have... Don't mind the knife. I have broom. And a knife. But I have broom. Don't worry about it. Hey, can I click on the game, please? There we go. Maybe there's a sword inside my broom. Sweep. Yeah, sweep emote. Really, when the time comes, a long weapon like a bat would work in my favor. I remember there was a metal bat at school. I could be confident that when push came to shove, if I pretend I was practicing my swing, then it wouldn't be suspicious for me to always carry it around. I could go to school early tomorrow and secure it. Just possessing a weapon may be enough to deter them. Also, one more thing. Insurance. It could be something like a note or a memo. I could write down everything that's happened as a sort of journal. In case I suddenly vanish, the journal would be left behind. With my journal in his possession, Oishi-san should be able to avenge my death. I left my parents engrossed in their conversation about work and went back to my room. Yeah, just randomly decided to keep practicing baseball 24/7 for no reason. I remember how awkward that was in I mean to say anime, but I've said amine so frequently lately that I just default want to say amine. Yep, well, that's my brain. That's my noodle. That's my mind flayer parasite. We're just gonna go write a journal and swing a bat around. Amine! Amine acids. Oh wait, those are amino. I tore out a piece of paper from a notebook and made my way to my desk. Last time I wrote a journal was for summer homework in elementary school. In the off chance something bad happened to the the police could use my diary as a lead. So, I should only write down the facts. How should I start? I jotted down my thoughts as they came. I, Keiichi Maibara, am in fear for my life. It made me laugh nervously, but it was a line that showed up often in detective stories. I never even dreamed that I would be in the type of situation where I'd write it myself. I do not know why they are after my life. Dana and the others were suspicious, but I had no proof, and that's why I couldn't write anything more. I laughed wryly at myself for writing such a passage draped in mystery. Would the police be able to get the hint from reading this enigmatic passage? I could only pray they would. What I prayed for the most was that this journal never needed to play its part. Here, I laughed nervously. It was too simple, so I wrote down one more line I just thought of. The only thing I do know is that it has to do with Oyashiro-sama's curse. Was that too much? I probably shouldn't write more than that. If I wrote any more, then it would seem like I was just delusional. In order to appear to the reader that the person who had written this was of sound mind, I chose not to write anything else at that point. I just needed to add more as I learned more about the truth. I folded the paper and thought about a place to hide it.
By hiding it somewhere obvious, there was a chance that they would uncover it instead. On the other hand, if it was too obscure of a location, then there was the risk of nobody finding it at all. In the end, I decided to take the clock off my wall and stick my folded note on the back of it with scotch tape. After that, I put the clock back into its normal position. Yeah. It didn't look like anything was hidden behind it. Now I needed to set it up such that if anything happens to me, my parents can find it. I looked at it from countless different angles until I was satisfied and made my way downstairs. My parents were still talking about work. It didn't look like it was going to end anytime soon, so I cut in. Sorry to interrupt. I have something I want to talk to you about. I never started off a conversation like that before, so my parents were both startled. They stopped talking and turned towards me. What is it, Keiichi? I have a favor to ask of you. Please listen. Just in case, yeah? If it's not urgent, can we do this later? Right now, Mommy and Daddy have something urgent they're talking about. I didn't think their talk was more urgent than mine. In any case, I stated my request. Just in case, okay? If I die. Both of my parents' eyes went wide as saucers. If I die, I want you to put the clock on my wall in my coffin. That's a very weird request. If they did that, then they'd probably find it. Yeah, he won't tell his parents what's happening, but he'll come up with this bullshit. This weird-ass fucking... If I die, bury me with my favorite clock, please. My memoir. Both my parents remained wide-eyed, not moving an inch. I couldn't blame them. I made that clock in shop class, and I really like it. So, please. What's the matter? Keiichi, did something happen? Mom was finally able to ask me with a questioning gaze. Of course, this was a normal response for when someone's son suddenly started talking about a subject like this. I felt bad about making them worry, but right now, I just wanted them to think about the clock in my room. With the awkward mood leaving the room in silence, I decided to go up to my room. Hey, Mom, Dad, if I die, could you bury me with the clock I made in shop class? Cool. Okay, thanks. Bye. Keiichi just slides out of the room like, what the bye? Dumb bitch. Fucking Keiichi, just... The fuck, dude? I want to get to school early tomorrow, so I'm going to bed. Good night. Saying only that, I left the living room. The cup's still a little hot. I need to get to school early tomorrow and secure that bat. I wonder how that was localized. In Chinese, giving someone a clock is actually a pun for attending their funeral. Oh my gosh, really? I never knew that. That's actually kind of funny. I never knew that that was a thing. I kind of like that. That's pretty funny. I should make today the last day I went to school with Reina. As I climbed the stairs, I heard my mom call my name, but I pretended not to hear her. As I adjusted my chair again. Let me roll my shoulders so I can sit with my back straight but my legs crossed. It wasn't something I could talk about with my parents. It's an interesting coincidence. I wonder if it was intentional or not. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. If I talked about it, it would only make things more dangerous. Hiccup. The fight that had begun was mine and mine alone. I couldn't rely on anybody. I wouldn't be killed. Not when I still knew nothing. Hello? Okay,
Higurashi. I have new tips. Not feeling so hot.
Ooh, pursue the truth behind the crimes. So I have an achievement. You can't see it. New tips.
Keiichi-kun's been feeling down lately. Maybe he's in a bad mood.
I wonder. Maybe he's on his period.
Mi-chan, that's gross.
What do you think?
Don't know.
Could it be that Kei-chan? Maybe? I don't know. That day, Kei-chan was in the car talking to someone. Talking to some tubby middle-aged guy, right? Yeah. No mistake. That Oishi, he probably fed him something fishy.
He was so serious. Keiichi-kun's face was so pale.
You see, you might not know this, but he's actually a messenger of Oyashiro-sama.
Huh? What do you mean?
Whenever he shows up, someone is demoned away. Demoned. Demoned away. They are demoned away. They're demoned away. No lie.
Oh? Is that so?
The year before last, when Rika-chan's mom drowned, right? When he shows up, someone's demonetized. Spooky. Watch out for the demonetization, Oishi-san. What did you do?
I think I actually sold my character's underwear.
To who?
But I went to the Moonrise Tower and I just defeated the enemies in Moonrise Tower. I may not be able to get them back.
You sold your character's small clothes.
I don't know how it happened. I was so careful not to go
You
after anything.
sold your character's small
I'm
clothes.
trying to figure out how the fuck it happened.
That's worse than me selling my camp clothes and running around in my skivvies.
I can't. There's no skivvies now.
There's no skivvies now.
Commando.
You can't sell your camp clothes or you will be into the bear.
Yep.
Zet asks, were you wearing them?
I thought I was, but nope, not now. But I must have been wearing them when I sold them.
Oh my god,
so
they're
some weird
legitimately
shit
just
happened.
gone.
They're just gone. I swear, I was being so careful too.
I thought I was bad for selling my camp clothes, but Ane here is going around selling her small clothes.
Look, I need the money. Okay.
Naughty, naughty.
Music Lover redeemed Astarian's naughty naughty. Just for you. Because you sold your small clothes.
We're tight on money, okay?
Zet says some pervs will pay a lot for that kind of thing.
He's not wrong.
I hope you got a lot of money for your small clothes. I'm just saying.
Too, if I did sell them.
If they didn't give you 5k gold,
Yeah, like, come on, you gotta give. I've been wearing these forever.
if you sold them to Moonrise Towers, you murdered them because they didn't pay you enough for your skivvies.
Correct. Oh, also, I
Ucha-ga-suki. My tea was cool enough for me to drink without burning my mouth.
Oh, yay, the girlfriends. Okay. I'm sorry, I just saw. Ooh, oh my gosh, I love that rainbow tea. Pride LGBT. I love that icon. That's so cute. Oh my god. That's so cute. Also, thank you, Music Lover, for the sound redeem. The year before last, when Rika-chan's mom drowned, right? Right before that, she was visited by Oishi.
Now that you mention it, it happened before Satoshi-kun transferred out.
Transferred? You're so sweet, Reina. So, this time he's appearing before Keiichi-kun. So Keiichi-kun's gonna be demoned away too? Oh, That might have been Reina.
And Keiichi-kun's gonna be demoned away.
An empty silence hung in the air, and then it was suddenly interrupted by loud laughter.
Yeah, ha 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 ha.
Okay, well. Were they laughing about me being demoned away? Is that what they were laughing about?
Suspicious. Those very suspicious.
It was the first time I'd ever woke up with such clarity. It was just 5:59, just moments before my alarm would go off. I was amazed at the precision of my internal clock. I had made preparations for the next day of school before I went to bed. I changed quickly and descended to the deserted lower floor. It appeared that my mom was still asleep. Neither breakfast nor lunch was ready. Yesterday, I just unilaterally declared that I would be leaving early today, so it couldn't be helped. I slathered jam on some bread and topped it with an instant cocoa? Oh. Okay, my brain can't process that, but yeah. They didn't explain it, but demoned away is their translation of onikakushi. Yeah. They did say onikakushi at some point earlier. But I'm surprised that they didn't just keep saying it, because they used it a lot when they first brought it up and then just never said it again. So I prefer onikakushi, but that's just because I like those words. They're more fun to say than demoned away. Just as I was finishing up breakfast, Mom rose groggily from her slumber. Yeah, they still kept it in the yeah. Well, it's fine. We know what it is. My Keiichi, you're up early. Is there some sort of school event? Not really. Answering bluntly, I picked up my bag and stood after stuffing 2 slices of bread down my throat. You're leaving already? What about lunch? If you don't wait a bit, I can't make it. If I waited for her to make my lunch, then I would end up being the same time as usual. If I did that, it would raise the chances of me running into Dana and Mion on the way. Yes, from today onwards, I was going to school alone. I'll be fine for today. And then what'll you do for lunch? I'll slip out and buy some bread or something at the store. Really? Then here's some lunch money. Be sure to bring me back the receipt. I took the 1,000 yen bill from Mom and slipped it into my pocket. It's pretty early. Is Reina-chan up this early as well? No, just me. Did you tell Reina-chan you're leaving early? I have no reason to tell her every little detail, now do I? Finding it difficult answering the onslaught of questions, I made an annoyed face. Tell Reina that I went ahead when she comes. Hey, Keiichi, wait! It's not that I didn't trust my parents. I just couldn't rely on them. They couldn't help me. I could only hope that they didn't get involved. It was safer that way. Mom's annoying voice was cut off by the slam of the door. For the first time since I moved here, I headed down the road and to school alone. Up until now, I had always walked down the same path, at the same time, each day. So I always met with the same people at the same places. But today was different. I didn't meet the people I would normally, and nobody was in the places where I would have normally met them. Of course, Dana wasn't in the spot where we usually meet, and there wasn't anyone at the spot where we would meet up with Mion. The length of the tree's shadows, the morning air, and the brightness of the sun, it was all completely different. It was a completely different type of morning from what I was used to. Without a doubt, it felt strange. It left me with the impression that I had destroyed the illusion Hinamizawa had set up for me before it had enough time to prepare all of the props it needed to deceive me. My, Kate-kun, you're so early today. Is everyone meeting early this morning? The person who called out to me was someone we always passed by as they were taking a walk along the edge of the fields.
Oh, an Ada redeem? An Ada redeem? Right now? Do you have any special requests for your Ada Zet? I really need to just put a thing in there where you guys can just type some stuff about what you would like at the Ada.
Their name was, I forgot. The line just now made you think of, my, Kate-kun, you're so early today. Is everyone meeting early this morning? My, Zet, did you just want to hear me coo something softly in your ear?
I'm just gonna take a little sippy sip of tea, don't mind me.
Oh. Nani? I think the moth bumped into me and then flew away. I felt something very briefly touch me, and I was like, oh. Oh. Aw, Zed, you're so cute. I'd love to just butter you up, but I don't really have any more pickup lines. How do flirt, Zet? I don't. I'd like to whisper sweet nothings in your ear, sweetheart, but there's I don't how sweet. How what nothing's sweet whisper something pickup line. I gotta think of a pickup line. What's a pickup line? How do you flirt with someone? Okay, I have to deliver it without laughing. That's the problem. My corpse party playthrough is recent enough that... Oh no! What's up, Zet? Do you want to butter up your butt? Oh my god. Oh, that was such an awkward moment in Corpse Party. It doesn't matter how many times I play that beginning. It always feels very awkward. But let me try one more time. My. Are your legs tired, sweetheart? 'Cause you've been running through my mind all night.
How was that? Did you like that one? Was that a good one? Is that better than buttering you up?
I'm just gonna fucking need to This is why I can't flirt with people. I can't dish it out and I can't take it. All I can do is bite. Fucking the timing of my bot. Oh my god. Fucking sure. Yeah, you hold me hand. Hold me hand. That's about as far as this little vanilla baby gets. I'm sorry. Steve Elements wants to see some hand holding. What a perv, right? What a perv, Steve Elements. What? I wonder what's on Steve. Who set up the Steve? I'm just gonna redeem my hydrate redeem on it. That's what I'm perfectly fine. I'm just redeeming hydrate because that redeemed hydrate redeem. So I'm just hydrating. Anyways, back to our regularly scheduled program. Thank you for this commercial break brought to you by Zet's Auto Redeem. Of course, this wasn't the spot where we usually pass by each other, and therefore I have forgotten the name of the individual, but that's fine, because I don't do names, I do faces. I woke up early today, so I thought it would be a good change of pace. That's all. I threw out a random excuse. Oh, what about Rena-chan and Mion-chan? Are you all by yourself today? Well, yeah. I was being asked the same type of questions my mom was asking, so I answered them in the same uninteresting, vague manner. It wasn't funny being asked where Rena was each time I passed by someone. The drawback of a tiny town where everyone knows your routine. Yeah, that's very true. But maybe it was to be expected. It was because for so long we were always together so amicably. Even I felt that if I let my guard down, we could still be Stop it, Keiichi. Don't think about that anymore. You spent all day yesterday thinking about how dangerous it was to go soft. Didn't you? Every time the Pokemon community game comes up, I keep looking at it because I'm like, is it a Gumi? I want the Gumi. Give me Gumi. But it's not. I'm never gonna get my Gumi. A car horn blared from out of nowhere. Even though I was walking, lost in thought, that horn was way too close. A mechanical behemoth barreled at me from behind, catching me completely off guard. By the time I turned around, the van's hulking... I'm also distracted by something touching my foot again. They caught me completely... Wait. Yeah, it was almost on top of me. I fucking immediately lost place because I looked away from the screen. I'm sorry. I don't know how to read consistently. I'd seen plenty of cars veered to the opposite shoulder to avoid pedestrians, but this car was doing the opposite. I knew those narrow mountain roads were going to be trouble. Yeah, well, it also doesn't help that it's probably intentionally trying to run over Keiichi-kun. Oh, I found Harley's, my cute little puppo Harley's back with my toesy woesies. I'm gonna give her little scratchies. It felt like there was somebody on the opposite shoulder, and the van was swerving in my direction to avoid them. That blissfully ignorant train of thought delayed me from realizing something much, much more important. The large mass was hurtling right at me. Was it going to hit me? The inside of my head instantly flooded with painfully cold liquid. In that moment, the scene before me, no, time itself, had frozen. The screech effect was very disorienting. It was very jarring. In the silence of that frozen moment, I compared the van, so close that I had no way to dodge it, and my body, the upper half, twisted awkwardly in order to look behind me. There was no way I could dive out of the way in my current position. If I lost focus now, this moment would unpause, and I would probably be plowed over, caught in this silly pose. Bend my upper body over towards the paddy by the side of the road. If I bent far enough, I'd get away with just being hit by the side view mirror. As soon as the thought crossed my mind, the temporal stasis was shattered by the deafening sound of the van. The side mirror struck my shoulder, sending me spinning off through the air like a top, locked in my contorted position. Oh, God. Kasplash. Sent tumbling through the air, I crashed into the muddy paddy by the side of the road. My entire body was soiled and drenched. But the choice I had made in that instant was unmistakably for the best. I was covered in mud, but when the alternative was being hit by the car, it was the closest I could be to being unscathed. Rising out from the paddy, I had enough in me to glare over at the stopped van and yell profanities at the driver. I'm not sure if he was able to see me, but the van sped off suddenly. Wait, damn it! This was what they call a hit and run, wasn't it? Yeah, hit and run. Quick, memorize the license plate! I couldn't help but continue yelling out profanities. The disgrace from being covered in mud hurt me much more than any physical wounds. Yeah, this is before camera phones. You really had to remember it. Yep, this is the 80s. I think it's the 80s? Like, late 80s, I think. I slogged through the muddy paddy and made my way back onto the road. This is a crime, god damn it. Shit, I'll track you down and sue you. If I go looking for a van, I'm sure to find it in this little village. The path I was on had rice paddies on either side, and it had become so narrow that one car could barely fit through. That damn brat, I'll sue! Oh my god, Persona 5. Bro. It wasn't a place you could tear full speed down in a car, let alone pass by pedestrians. Not only was it a narrow road, but the car just now was closer to my side of the road than any other when it passed me. Even as I cursed, I was desperately trying to suppress the dark cloud roiling up within me. This wasn't just a hit and run. That car just now. It was trying to run me over, wasn't it? Thinking back, I did feel like there had been a car creeping up on me slowly for a while. That's right. As soon as I parted ways with that person taking a walk, I had that feeling the whole time. If it had wanted to pass me, then it had no shortage of chances. Normally, I would have felt suspicious and turned around sooner. But I was lost in thought, and now was kicking myself for not realizing it was there sooner. And then, when the path became narrow and there was no one else in sight, he floored it. If I had hesitated for even a moment, the result would be no laughing matter. As the adrenaline rushed from nearly being run over subsided, and the realization of just how terrifying the preceding events were sunk in. There was no doubt about it. That van was intentionally trying to hit me. A cold, viscous sweat seeped from my scalp and slid down my back before dribbling off. I struggled to avoid falling into a panic. There was still the possibility that this was really just an accident. Calm down, Keiichi. But also, don't be so naive, Keiichi. Not all threats can be stopped with a baseball bat. That's true. Imagine if you could stop a speeding van with a baseball bat, though. Just picture it. Just smashing in the hood and the impact of it. Much like in Stranger Things, perhaps you could compare, and it knocks the van into the air and it does a little flippy flip over your noodle and you're like, oh, wow, look at it fly. Yeah, you just murder van is blasting off again. Dink. Being that lax will get you killed next time. You need to always be on your toes. Don't give them any openings. If my enemy was really out to kill me, then next time they would use a more reliable method. If that time came and I was acting like I was now, being covered in mud was the price I had to pay for my own naivete. Covered in mud, but without injury. Not even a sprain. I guess this was what you would call the silver lining. I began walking again, this time cautiously. I wouldn't even show a hint of carelessness. I had suspected only Dana and the others up until now. No, it was because I had suspected them that I had believed there were no other enemies. Oishi-san said so, didn't he? There was the possibility that all the families of the village were involved.
Right? Maybe a bicycle would work a little bit better for you, Keiichi-kun.
Was I really mired so deeply in the situation that I had no choice but to try and carry on as usual? Wouldn't it be safest to just hold myself up in my house? But the moment I abandoned my regular routine, everyone around me would abandon theirs as well. That was just too horrifying a thought. Well, you're already abandoning your routine, though. I recalled the tales that Oishi-san told me of when Hinamizawa was still called Onigafuchi. A frightening tale of an entire village of demons hunting their prey, surrounding them and eating them alive. One must not interfere with the demons. One must pretend not to see it. The enemy were numerous, all the village families. The villagers, with their unwavering faith in the curse, would do nothing to help me. The strong, sudden flash of sunshine made me slightly dizzy. I had no idea what was going on anymore. When I suspected it was the work of man, I would catch a glimpse of Oyashiro-sama's curse. When I suspected it was Oyashiro-sama's curse, someone would poke their head out. What was coincidence? What was intentional? Who was my enemy? Who was just a bystander? Now, what I really, truly wanted to know was, how did I end up with the proverbial bullseye painted on my back? Eventually, an answer in a form I could understand will appear. I don't care when that will happen, because until then, I cannot die. That alone fueled my resolve to fight and will keep me alive. I remembered seeing the metal bat in the gym storage shed, but there was a padlock on the door barring my entry. At the very least, I wanted to get my hands on it before everyone else arrived at school. I circled around the school grounds impatiently. But all I could find were things like pieces of lumber, nothing that I could bring to the classroom easily. Then, I had an epiphany. I should just search inside the classroom. If it was something in the classroom to begin with, then there wouldn't be a problem. I could tell that everyone's indoor shoes were still in their lockers. Good thing I came early. Nobody else was here yet. I wondered, what could I find in the classroom? I didn't think I could find an especially effective weapon like a bat. He opens up Mion's locker and there's her gun. The roundabout schemes you have to pull when you can just buy a bat on Amazon. Yeah. That's the 80s for you. But it couldn't be helped at this point. Until the gym storage shed was open, I needed to find a substitute. A lingering hint of naivety whispered that there was no way I'd be attacked at school. But such soft ideas would no longer protect me. To think that they were slowly making their way into parts of my life that I had once thought were impenetrable. In the worst case, my own house might not be safe anymore. That was an incredibly frightening thought. But I believe that not considering the worst case scenario would have been even more frightening. Anyway, I will survive. As long as I lived on, then I will definitely be able to escape this labyrinth of nonsense. Definitely. More spooks, please. My exploration of the classroom came to an impasse. That much was to be expected. There was no way there would be anything that could be a weapon in the classroom. In case of emergency, there was probably nothing I could do but swing my own chair around. My gaze landed on the lockers that had come to be used for personal storage. The locker that Mion used to store her pile of games was among them. The foreshadowing of the chair. Oh? There was one for each person in the class, all lined up. Of course, there was one for me as well. Oh yeah, there was supposed to still be a tracksuit in my locker. Seeing me covered in mud would be strange. I should go change later. But first, I needed a weapon. If one of my classmates came, it would be hard to rummage through all the lockers. I swiftly began opening lockers one by one. They were mostly just filled with things like gym clothes, personal items, and umbrellas. An umbrella? If I couldn't find anything better, then this would have to be my weapon. I was about to give up on finding anything decent when I opened a locker that held exactly what I wanted. A sword umbrella, yes! Hidden sword. It's almost as good as a sword cane. I agree. It was, without a doubt, a metal bat. It was well worn and pretty beaten up, but there was no doubt it was usable. In that locker reeked of mold, there also hung a baseball uniform. It was probably the locker of a student in a pee-wee league or something like that. If that was the case, then he'd probably ask for it back. At that time, I could hear the voices of the children scuffling their way noisily from the hallway. Amongst them, I could make out Rika and Satoko. Oh.
Good morning. My, you're quite early this morning, Keiichi-san. Nippa!
I nonchalantly hid the bat I was holding behind my back.
What's with your outfit? You're covered in mud.
Yeah, I had a little incident. I'm gonna change now, so cut me some slack. With that said, I began taking off my clothes. Satoko began to blush, just as I expected her to.
Changing in front of a lady? Have you no tact at all?
I would think that a lady staring at someone who is changing would be the one lacking in tact. There's no changing room for the boys, so just deal with it. And finally, these children arrive, so now I can change. Yeah, right? Isn't there like a bathroom? Instead of doing that before they got here, just go to the bathroom and change. As Satoko feigned disgust, she went into the hall, still blushing. Conversely, Rika-chan continued to stare at me, preparing to change. If Rika-chan is a lady as well, then I don't think it would be appropriate for you to be watching.
I'm not a lady, so it's fine.
She deliberately pouted and looked at me with upturned eyes. Is Rika-chan the biggest pervert of them all? Yeah, Rika's like,
I'd like to see your naked body, Nippa.
Then, starting now, you're a lady.
If I'm a lady, then I suppose I must.
Rika-chan, appearing to be satisfied with being considered a lady, made her way to join Satoko in the hallway. Just as I breathed a sigh of relief, Rika-chan stopped suddenly and turned back towards me.
Are you going to start playing baseball?
It seems that Rika-chan had noticed the bat. Yeah, just, I was feeling a bit out of shape, so I thought I'd try practicing my swing.
I think it's wonderful that you're taking care of your health.
She was talking like an old lady, despite her appearance. After saying that, Nika-chan started to leave again, but stopped and looked back at me once more.
Please don't lose that bat.
It seems like she already knew I took it out of someone's locker. There was no name on the locker door. I didn't know whose bat it was, but I would be borrowing it until they complained. We stole Nika's bat. I'm pretty sure it's from what I remember of the original anime, I think it's Satoshi's bat. It wouldn't be for long, just until the gym storage shed was opened. After quickly changing into the tracksuit, I checked the time. I still had plenty of time before class began because I came so early. I took the bat in one hand and went out to the schoolyard. That was, of course, to practice my swing. I needed to make it known that I would always have a bat on me so I could practice my swing. At some point, the sunlight had become even stronger. Disregarding my classmates as they made their way to school, I took my position in the shadow of the school building. I wasn't the academic type. Yeah, I wasn't the academic type. Academic type. Academic type. Academic type. And I wasn't much of an athlete either. Athlete. I'm not an athlete or an epidemic. Epidemic? I wasn't the My Hero Academia type. Oh, I love that. God, I want to watch My Hero Academia again. I need to read it again. I never really caught up on the anime because I was already reading the manga.
But I need to see more of my Shinzo.
My goodest boy getting his chance at the big leagues.
You know, until shit hit the fan.
I might get muscle pain if I just suddenly started swinging. I should at least start out with some warm-ups. I doubt anyone would think I was doing something out of the ordinary, which was the exact opposite of my actual mental state. I gripped the bat and swung lightly. The bat was by no means light. The weight would make it a reliable weapon when I needed it to be. Of course, I could only pray that the moment I needed to use this as a weapon would never come. Just carrying it around could deter attacks against me. At least that's what I hoped.
Swing, swing, thwack, bam, crash, pow, bing.
Huh? Kei-chan, what are you doing? Being bombarded with such a hysterical voice, I jumped.
Whoa, Keiichi-kun, are you on the baseball team? The baseball team?
It was Dana and Mion. I was surprised to hear you went off ahead. What are you doing, Kei-chan? Can't you tell just by looking? I'm practicing my swing for the championship. You can say it's part of my diet if you want. Diet? Kei-chan, are you really that fat? Bet you didn't know, I actually have a beer belly. It's plump and jiggles.
It jiggles like jello.
We're not on a team, but we're practicing for the championship. Yeah, right? Honestly.
Plump and jiggles.
Dana, you don't have to imagine something weird like that. To disrupt Reina from imagining something that vulgar, I ruffled her hair messily. Well then, I hope you make it to regionals at least. This old man will cheer you on.
Regionally speaking, it seems that Oshima High is pretty strong. They say their southpaw Kameda-kun is amazing. Good luck.
It seems they've made me out to be some kind of local prodigy, but oh well. Well, if I really did make it to the championship, it would be a cinch. After all, I'd be the pitcher and the catcher. I'd pitch the ball, then run past the ball I just threw and change over to being the catcher in a burst of super incredible, explosive speed. I laughed dryly at the ludicrous image. Coming back to my senses, I smashed the bat against the ground. Oh, Jesus. Damn it. What am I laughing at? Oh my god. Keiichi. Okay, we're just doing that now. I pounded the ground over and over. Yeah, it's a very violent... It is indeed a very violent sounding sound effect, I agree. I mean, you know, it does sound like it's reused from the opening scene. That might be very well where they got it from. I pounded the ground over and over. With each impact, the reverberation traveling through the bat stung my hands. If they make me smile like that, I'll... I mean... It doesn't work either way. Don't allow anyone close to me. Don't trust anyone. No matter how many times I tell myself that, if they made me smile like that, I'll... Ugh.
What are you thinking, Keiichi? If they smile at me, I'll just... Oh! I want to take them home.
I already knew quite well that there were demons dwelling in my smiling friends. But I just couldn't believe it. Did that kind of split personality really exist? Like how Reina confessed to the doctor. Were they simply being possessed by Oyashiro-sama? In other words, did a supernatural being like Oyashiro-sama really exist? And was it possessing everyone to try and kill me? Yeah, that would be wonderful. If only everyone were actually my friends all along and everything was just Oyashiro-sama's fault. You damned fool, Keiichi Maibara! Come on now! I yelled out, drawing out all the power from the pit of my stomach and raised the bat violently to the air. Stop being so soft! As I screamed with all my might.
With like a fraction of my might, because I am indoors and it is late at night and I don't want to scream. And my throat hurts. I beat the metal bat into the ground over and over. With every impact, my weakness was being beaten down. Okay, smash. Forget.
Smash.
Don't be soft. Smash. Know your enemy. Smash. Like hell I'd let them kill me.
My shoulders heaving up and down from my ragged breathing, I heard the first bell ring as I calmed down.
Or just as I calmed down. Oh, it's already so late. Yeah, I don't think his plan is very, very well thought out.
I gasped with a sudden realization. That was the final bell. As I felt all the tension drained from me, I let out a deep breath. My mind was in a muddled state for much of the entire day. I didn't feel like I was awake, but it didn't feel like I was asleep either. I couldn't say it felt especially comfortable, but I kind of felt a relief that the sanctity of the school part of my daily life had yet to be violated. How long would I have to keep on living like this? I could only grit my teeth and bear with it as this living hell slowly gnawed away at me.
Keiichi-kun! Come on! It's club time! It's club time!
The sound of Reina's voice brought me back to my senses. Come on, Kate-chan, stop spacing out. Bring your desk. Or, well, I guess that might be Reina. I just thought because she said Kei-chan, that's usually Mion, so...
Come on, Kei-chan. Stop spacing out. Bring your desk. Everyone is moving desks together.
Oh, everyone's moving desks together as usual. There was no end to the quotations. That's right. It was happy, fun club time. But I had no intention of taking part. I haphazardly stuffed the contents of my desk into my bag as I prepared to go home. It was a weak-handed gesture to avoid having to actually say, I'll be going home now.
Happy fun club time! Yay! Hooray!
Oh, what's this, Kei-chan? You planning on going home right away again? Not to be confused with happy fun bat time.
Exactly.
Mion sounded quite disappointed. I'm just not in the mood. Could you just let me be for a while? The tone of the words that spilled from my mouth matched Mion's disapproving glare. It felt like the air in the room had dried out. Satoko looked like she was about to say something, but perhaps dissuaded by the mood, she swallowed her words and stayed silent. Nobody said a thing. I took that to mean I could leave if I wanted. But the collective gaze of the four of them, like the tiny pins used to mount an insect in a display, held me in place. Dana was the one who cut through the heavy mood.
Keiichi-kun, you just didn't like playing with girls, I guess.
She said it in such a melancholic tone that it sent a wave of pain racing through my heart. If this pain was going to kill me, I wanted it to be the soft part of me so that the soft part of me that could still feel pain. I tore at my chest, violently tearing out the pins that held me in place. That's not it at all. I'd only be hurting myself by saying anything more, so I swallowed my words. Cutting things off there, I turned away and exited the classroom. They didn't speak a word to me as I left. It was a long, dull trip back home, but I didn't lose focus. I firmly squeezed the grip of the bat, which was already soggy from sweat. Realizing that, I wiped it down with my sleeve. If something were to happen, I wouldn't want it to be slippery. Since this morning, I'd become especially sensitive to the presence of cars. Dana, that was your chance to say you'll take Keiichi home, but in a nice way, right? Even while walking, my ears perked up and sought out threatening sounds and presences that could be closing in. And that was why I could hear it. Without a doubt, there were footsteps. Those footsteps had matched up perfectly with mine for a while now. From what I could sense, it was just one person. But I had no intention of being careless. Did they intend to follow me like the car this morning until we were in a good location to assault me? Then it wasn't a good idea to keep walking like this. I stopped walking and looked back. The wooded path, crowded with trees, responded with silence, as if to say there was nobody there to begin with. But I wouldn't be fooled. I was certain footsteps were following me. And just as I stopped, the footsteps stopped as well. Meaning, the person following me wanted to keep their distance. That was, without a question, proof that I was their target. I held my breath, waiting for that presence to panic and start moving again. The trees rustled with the sound of the wind.
We've got ourselves a stalker. Don't turn around. Disturbia. Bum bum be dum dum bum be dum bum.
Bum bum be
Bum dum be dum bum. Thank you.
The Higurashi also joined in the dissonant chorus, trying to throw my focus into disarray. Had 5 minutes passed? Or had I been like this for a whole 30 minutes? It was so hard to breathe that I might have suffocated. It seemed I would be the first one to panic. Without a doubt, he was lurking in the shade of that tree with bated breath. Then, I'd make the first move. I fixed my grip on the bat. I raised it up to my shoulder to be ready to swing it at any time. Hey! I know you're there! With all of my might, I screamed at whoever was hiding in the shade of the trees. But The presence in the shade didn't budge. Until the moment I found them, they had no intention of revealing themselves. I know already! I know you're there! I screamed out angrily at them again, but even still, they didn't move at all. It is gonna be Reina, isn't it? I feel like it's Reina. Yeah, 99.99999% chance of per Reina tension. It's Reina. Oyashiro-san, it's alright. Oyashiro-sama. Then I'd go over there myself. I'm gonna go smash a tree with a baseball bat. Anyway, sorry. 99% chance is gonna be rain. I should have just said that. I missed a prime joke opportunity. I missed a joke opportunity, and I'm so sorry. With all due vigilance, oh my god, I approached step by step. Stepping into the tree's shadow, I saw a human figure there. That figure was curled up like a small animal. Oh, there she is! Dana. Yours was good too. Coming up with stuff on the fly is hard. It is hard, and I'm bad at improvisation. I usually just regurgitate jokes that I've heard elsewhere. When she realized I had found her, her expression softened. She seemed apologetic, but wasn't going to speak a word. Did you have some business with me? I wouldn't accept that silence and screamed the question at her. Not really. It's just, Dana was in a panic with tears welling up in her eyes. I'm only hilarious because I regurgitate other jokes that I think are hilarious. It's an illusion. I'm just really good at glamour magic. I polymorphed into someone funny. But it was obvious that she had been following me. What about the club? Since you're not, I'm not. That shouldn't matter. Don't mind me and just play. But I'm worried about you. Thinking about how I'd been acting up till now, it wasn't hard to imagine that my behavior could have been perceived as strange. So Dana was concerned. At a quick glance, that's how it would seem. Oh, Harley, I know you want to go OUTSIDE. In a little bit, babies. In a little bit. And she would never murderize us. No. Perfectly innocent, sweet baby Reina child-chan? No. She couldn't hurt a fly. Unless that fly was a window and she was hurting it with a bat. Oh, baby. But I wasn't going to let my guard down that easily. Even if that was really the case, she still wouldn't have. Sorry, I'm distracted by my puppo being very sweet and cute and wagging her tail at me because she wants to go OUTSIDE and I want to finish stream first. She gave me a little kissy on my leg, just like mom. It's very distracting. She's so cute. But I wasn't going to let my guard down that easily. Even if that was really the case, she still wouldn't have to do something like try to tail me. Yeah, I'm absently giving her little pets with my feetsies because she's sitting like right at my foot, so I'm just giving her some little pets that way, and then I'll cuddle her after stream. She should have called out to me when I was leaving and gone out right with me, but Reina didn't do that. She kept her distance from me and matched my walking speed. On top of that, she matched the sound of her footsteps and deviously tried to hide her presence from me. Then, after she realized I noticed she was there, she held her breath as she tried hiding from me. She wore a timid expression that would force one to take pity on her, but without a doubt, she was tailing me. Stop following me. Still glaring at Reina, I continued walking onwards. After I'd walked for a bit, she ignored my command and began walking again, so I yelled at her once more. I told you not to follow me!
But my house is the same direction.
Then walk ahead of me. I'll start walking once I can't see you anymore. I moved out of the way and waved my bat violently to urge her forward.
I'd like to go home together with you.
Making a pitiful expression, she meekly squeaked out the words in a voice she knew would cut into my heart. That agitated me to no end. I knew it was a lie. If you wanted to go home together, then you should have called out to me. Now you're just blurting out random lies.
How can you say no to those cute little puppy eyes? She's such a cute little baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It seemed that the seething anger within me was written all over my face. Even without me saying anything, Nana had understood that what I was feeling inside. If you get it, then go. I swung the bat, urging her to walk. Nana looked back and forth between me and the bat, started walking hesitantly, and then stopped again. Go on then, hurry!
I'm going. So please stop with the bat. It's scary.
Nana guarded herself while pointing at me, holding the bat. She may have realized that I wasn't planning on using this bat for baseball. I lowered the bat, but still guardedly opened the way for her. Go. There's no problem now, is there? There was nothing else she could protest. She passed by me timidly so as not to set me off. Yeah, Keiichi still thinks he's fooling anyone with his bat plan, right? It's like, I'm not mad, I'm just practicing my baseball. As I watched her pass by, she stopped completely after having barely moved at all. Hey, don't stop. Then, a powerful gust blew past us, barraging my face with dust. The dust got into my eyes and clouded my vision. While rubbing my eyes with my left hand, I swung blindly with the bat in my right, protecting the small opening I had presented. But Dana didn't even try to attack during that opening. I should have worn a baseball cap, right? Attack me? No, she hadn't budged an inch. I could tell from the sound of her fluttering skirt in the wind. As her skirt settled, so did the silence. At that moment, the voice inside of me immediately warned me of impending danger. I was caught by surprise. The smell of the air had changed? Without me realizing it, the air around me suddenly felt like a calamity was about to befall me. It was like the air had suddenly become invisible concrete, like Dana and I were locked in this space. Dana didn't move an inch. Also unable to move, I stared at her back. Dana was the first to break the silence. Instantly, she altered her stance. I felt like I had just witnessed her shift from Reina into that other person who looks like Reina. But the voice was one I knew well, which filled me with a kind of bewildering pity. Carelessly, I felt relief upon hearing that pitiful voice.
Well, excuse me, but, can I ask you something?
Too shy to even turn around, Dana squeezed her voice out desperately. As she trembled. What?
Well, why do you have that bat, I wonder?
The question Reina asked was by no means unexpected. I can carry whatever I want.
But you didn't have one up until today. Why so suddenly?
It's all right if I decide to do something suddenly, isn't it? Is it strange that I have it? Is it strange that I have a bat?
Because, Keiichi, you're not the kind of person to play baseball. It's weird.
I couldn't tell what kind of answer she was looking for, and I was getting tired of answering her. I just suddenly got the urge to play baseball. Is that so weird? Keiichi's obviously more of a badminton guy. I love that.
It's weird.
She answered instantly, and that annoyed me slightly. I just suddenly wanted to play baseball, and I wanted to practice my swing, so I'm carrying around a bat. What's strange about that?
Strange. Weird. Definitely. Why has Keiichi-kun also...
Your ramblings are annoying me. Is that strange? Is it that strange for me to have an interest in sports?
Where did you get a bat, Keiichi? The closest Walmart is 50 miles away.
I tried to sound a bit more threatening to end the conversation. Until my suspicions about Reina were cleared, I had no obligation to answer her questions.
I'm sorry. Don't get so angry.
Reina still didn't turn around and spat out words of apology one after the next.
Just one last thing. Tell me one last thing.
I don't feel like talking anymore. He stole it. Hurry up and go. I yelled loudly at her, causing her to flinch like she had been struck. Seeing her in such a pathetic state caused my heart to ache sorely. Even though she was afraid, she stubbornly kept herself from moving. Before I was able to threaten her again, Dana asked her final question.
Why is that bat the same too?
What did she mean by the bat was the same? I had no idea what she was talking about. What are you saying?
Why is even the bat the same?
I don't understand what you mean at all. Say it clearly. Even still, Dana didn't turn around. After inhaling deeply, she screamed.
Why is even the bat the same as Satoshi-kun's?
Satoshi being... Huh? Upon hearing the name out of the blue, I became dumbfounded for a moment. By Satoshi, did she mean the student who transferred out last year? No, that couldn't be. Dana had tried to cover it up by saying he transferred out, but Oishi-san told me quite clearly that he was missing. He was the student who sat at my seat up until last year. He was believed to have been demoned away by Oyashiro-sama's curse. I didn't know the details about his disappearance. The aunt he lived with was killed on the night of the Watanagashi by a drug addict, and not long after that, he suddenly vanished and was now missing. That Satoshi and I were... What? My gaze fell to the bat at my hands. Could it be Satoshi Honjo? It was a bit difficult to see. Yeah, the haunted bat. Bat's haunted.
Moon's haunted, bat's haunted. Yeet the bat at the moon. They can be haunted together.
It was a bit difficult to see, but that was what was written on the white tape at the end of the bat. I see. So this was Satoshi's bat. Oh. This was Satoshi's bat. Since nobody was using it, I borrowed it. That's not a problem, is it?
That's not it.
The way Reina said that made it seem like this bat was something that should never have been touched. Like it was some sort of offering at a shrine or a memento of the deceased. I could only stand there, perplexed and unable to respond. Dana continued speaking without waiting for a reply.
Why is it? Why is it that you're doing the exact same thing Satoshi-kun did when it happened to him?
Dana was talking about more than just the bat belonging to Satoshi. It was the same with
Satoshi-kun. He joined a baseball team, but he didn't really like baseball.
What does that have to do with me?
Satoshi-kun also started walking around with a bat one day. He joined a team, but he wasn't the type to play sports.
What about it? I closed my mouth before I could say that out loud. I don't like watching baseball, but I did enjoy playing it when I was a tiny potat. Because I played with all the boys and I was stronger than they were. I had a complex when I was young where I had to prove that I was the strongest boy.
Yeah, when I was an even tinier Grim, I was full of so much more strength and vigor. And so much more chaos.
What about it? I closed my mouth before I could say that out loud. Listen carefully, Keiichi. Nena's trying to tell us something important.
Satoshi-kun also one day came to school all by himself all of a sudden. Just like Keiichi-kun. Then one day he started practicing his swing. Just like Keiichi-kun. Then one day he suddenly began carrying the bat around with him. Just like Keiichi-kun. Then one day he suddenly what?
Dana had swallowed her words. Nena's sudden silence brought a hush back to the surrounding area. It was then that I could finally digest the content of the entire conversation. Oh shit, yeah, I meant to be off already, but it hasn't hit the chapter end yet. Or at least, like, the section. She was saying that my chain of actions was exactly the same as Satoshi's. What was the meaning of this? Hello. Let's see. One day he said, standing in the road. Oh,
then one day he suddenly kissed me out of nowhere while we were standing on the road. Well, Keiichi-kun, are you gonna kiss me or what, you pussy?
Sorry, I didn't mean to actually. I meant to say a different word, like you bitch or whatever, but that's what came out of my mouth.
Are you gonna woman up, Keiichi, and kiss me on the lips?
Up until just now, I'd forgotten all about Satoshi. I had never paid much thought to him in the first place. Not only that, I didn't even know anything of what he'd done. My actions today should have been my own creation after all the planning I had done. But they had been the exact same as Satoshi's? Then Satoshi... No. More importantly, if both Satoshi and I acted the same, then there was a really good possibility that what happened after would be the same. Nena, that day, what happened to Satoshi? Yeah, right? Did Satoshi have a really good clock that he made in woodshop class one day? Did he? No? Then don't compare us. We're not the same. Nena knew. She knew what became of Satoshi. No. Forget about what happened to a guy in the past. Dana knew what was going to happen to me. Answer me, Dana. Satoshi. What happened to him? With that, I grabbed Reina's shoulder violently and forcibly turned her around to face me. As I faced her, I felt a jolt travel through my entire body.
I told you, Keiichi-kun.
It was that person that I didn't know. At least, it definitely wasn't the Reina Ryugu I'd been talking to up until now. The voice just now didn't have a trace of the trembling or emotion that it had before. The amount of regret I felt for turning her around so carelessly was unsurpassed. That gaze pierced like a cold needle, the smile on her face that invoked an image of having been carved out by a knife. Chills went down my spine. My mind froze under a layer of rime. So if we're possessed by Satoshi, who's possessing Reina? I mean, you know what? That's a good question. Both of Reina's eyes pierced through mine, leaving me unable to look away. As if to remind me of the fear from the time before, Reina brought her face close to mine, so close that I could feel her breath. Her face had filled my entire field of vision. Then, her sharply shaped lips grew even sharper. Like the curve of a crescent moon, she grinned.
I told you, Keiichi-kun.
After a short pause, Reina repeated the same words again.
Satoshi-kun, you see, transferred out.
Transferred meaning what? What Reina meant must have been some new definition of transfer that I was previously not aware of. My throat and lips dried up. I couldn't even acknowledge what I had just heard. All I could do was swallow down my own saliva. It would seem that Reina saw that as a nod. She pulled her gaze back and spryly stepped back 2-3 paces. As she did, my legs gave out and I fell to my knees pathetically.
I told you, Keiichi-kun. His brain was transferred out of his skull.
Reina and me on my knees underneath her, a motionless smile. That had to be a very odd sight indeed. Seeing me in a pathetic state, she neither scoffed at me nor held out her hand. But I could neither stand nor escape her gaze shooting through my eyes. There was undoubtedly a metal bat in my hand, but right now it was useless to me. I was like a fly caught in her web. Heavy sweat beaded all over my body. I could feel it dripping from my skin.
But you won't, will you, Keiichi-kun?
Reina finally released me from that cage of time after what felt like an eternity. But her question was missing something important, and it was incredibly vague. Once again, I swallowed hard, urging her on. Do what?
You'll eat your mochi like a good little boy, right, Keiichi-kun?
What did she want me to do? Because you know what'll happen if you don't.
Because otherwise, Keiichi-kun, you're going to have to play a penalty game. Transfer.
Dana, I love my creepy girl. I love my creepy girl. My creepy girl. Yay! Take up another's oh. Okay, we're not done yet. I thought we were done, but I got another achievement. That's why I thought we were done. Satoshi and I had... What? All my well-planned actions throughout the day turned out to have been nothing more than a reenactment of what Satoshi had done. Satoshi, had he really been in the same situation as I was now? The friends he had gotten along with had changed suddenly, and for no reason, at least none that I had noticed, planned to kill him? Then, fearing for his life as I am, he got a bat to protect himself and carried it around every day to practice his swing. And then one day, suddenly, he transferred. My blood went cold, causing a prickling sensation to course through my veins. Starting near my heart, it radiated outwards from the top of my head to the soles of my feet, chilling every part of me without recourse. What did she mean by transfer? What did she mean by transfer? Was Satoshi still at wherever he transferred to?
Yes, he transferred to hell.
Was he the only one who would be able to understand me? Would he be able to tell me why it all ended up like this? More importantly, where did he transfer to? What did she mean by transfer? What did she mean by transfer? Before I knew it, I was at my front door. Oh no, people from hell have an awful chance of getting into a decent college. Oh, yeah, they do have they have a better chance than the school of Hinamizawa that he's currently at. The frigid knob was hard to turn. Was nobody home? It wasn't that odd of an occurrence. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the single key attached to my first seal keychain. I stepped into the entryway just as I was about to take off my shoes. A chill ran down my spine. Somebody had entered right behind me. Like a classmate messing around, standing right up against my back. You're kidding, right? It had to be my imagination. Logically speaking, it was impossible for someone to be able to hide their presence within my personal space all the way through the door. Why are you trying to get into the Maibara house, Satoshi? But there was undoubtedly someone behind me. Hey now, Casey. How do you know they're there, even though they're behind you? Because I could hear the sound of flowing hair. There's no other reason I'd hear that sound. That was the presence. Because I could hear the sound of them blinking. Keiichi Maibara, there's no way you could hear that. It was mostly instinct than anything else that warned me of the presence. Common sense was telling me that it was just my imagination. It was just my imagination. There was nobody behind me. I began to erase the mental image of an eerie figure standing behind me. But at the same time, I asked myself, if there was nobody, then what was I feeling? As an uncomfortable sensation crawled up my spine. Actually, wouldn't it be better if there was somebody there? If there was nobody when you turned around, would you be able to accept that? I'd be able to answer all those questions just by looking behind me. But I didn't have enough courage to even do that simple task. Oh, right. I could try speaking to them. The person behind me might answer me. It was a random thought. I didn't care how I went about it, just as long as I didn't have to turn around. If I had calmed down and thought about it, I would have known that that wouldn't have solved anything. Who is it? I spoke in such a hoarse, broken voice that I couldn't believe it was my own. I could almost feel them contemplating their response. I felt it. There's no way I should be able to do that. Calm down, Keiichi. It's all in your head. That time, I was certain I heard it. As if hesitantly, trying to answer my inquiry, I was certain I could hear the sound of somebody inhaling. I heard it. I heard it. I heard it clearly. It was a girl. A young girl. I didn't know who, but a tiny speck of courage in me, however reckless it was, inspired a primal yet fitting solution to this current predicament. A scream. All the force in my body released from my lungs and through my throat, ceasing all thought processes in my head. Suppressing all my thoughts and emotions, I began to collapse like a house of cards, somehow managing to twist my body and look back as I did so. It was definitely there. Right there. Somebody was right there. Until the moment I turned around, until I brought the area behind me into my field of vision, they were definitely there. Falling face up, my eyes traced the remnants of the presence suspended in the empty space. It couldn't be. They were invisible. They looked like they weren't there, but they were actually still standing there. As I screamed, all the emotions I was holding back burst free in a violent wave. However, I was decidedly calm as my emotional dam collapsed. The turbulent wave of pent-up emotions was skillfully diverted into a torrent of aggression. That emotion was definitely required to extricate myself from the bizarre situation happening right in front of me. In my state of heightened lucidity, I entrusted my body to the fury. The metal bat held firm in my right hand as if drawn there by a magnet. A mid-level sweep would be the hardest attack to dodge. I remembered reading something like that from a book about swordsmanship or something. I'm not screaming, I'm sorry. I brandished my will to fight. The after image of the amalgamation of metal flashed as it swung from left to right, beating against the entryway. Oh, Jesus. Did you hit something? Okay, it's just the wall. Fuck. The bat slammed into the right wall, the tip rebounding violently. Very calmly, I transferred the force of the rebound into a sweep to the left. The door of the shoe cupboard was split into pieces. Those two swings whiffed through empty space, but they seemed to have a great psychological impact on the enemy. I could feel the panic emanating from that space. The attack wasn't the only thing required. I extracted the bat from the cupboard it was embedded in and screamed as I spun my entire body around in a large arc. Okay. Very calmly smashing the furniture around my entire house. I scared the intruder away. The invisible intruder, I scared them away by smashing all of my earthly belongings. My screams shook the air, imbuing my ferocious swing with even more destructive power. Okay. Crack. Without mercy or restraint, my violent strike, with certainly fatal force behind it, shattered the top of the cupboard. None of my attacks struck the enemy, but my ferocity had certainly seemed to impact them. Breathing heavily, my entire body soaked in sweat, the invisible enemy, there but not there, disappeared. Or dispersed. Breathing heavily, my entire body dispersed. When I was certain that the enemy had retreated, I locked the front door and latched the chain. It's going to be awkward. Yeah, it's going to be awkward to explain to Mom and Dad why I broke the shoe cupboard. No way had it only feigned retreat and was now inside my house? Once again, I channeled my aggression and searched the house for the presence. But it was gone. I had succeeded in fending it off. At that moment, the tension drained from my body, and I let out a deep sigh of relief. All of the emotions I had been holding back chaotically merged together and began to flood out. A hodgepodge of fear, accomplishment, and disbelief all mixed together and began to flow through my body. Unable to deal with each individual feeling, I beat them all back with the strongest exhaustion. Even in this moment, I remained composed. Did you, though? Did you really? Are you? After checking that all the doors throughout the house were locked, I went up to my room on the second floor and closed the curtains. I straightened my back and tilted my head back a little. After clearing my mind of the idle thoughts, I managed to calm down even more. What was that at the front door? There was definitely something there. Thinking about it, maybe it was just an apparition. An apparition I dreamt up in my confused state, but I really didn't think that was the case. Just demolishing our house with a metal bat, like a sane and stable person does. Just ask Reina. It's a very normal thing to do. Exactly. It's just the traditional housewarming welcoming of Hinamizawa. I learned it from Reina. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. Compose yourself. But no matter how calmly I thought about it, what just happened wasn't a figment of my imagination. It was obviously a supernatural phenomenon, and without a doubt, something was behind me. It wasn't some sort of illusion I saw amidst my confusion and disorientation. Proof? I had just one piece. When I asked, "Who is it?" they inhaled as if they were about to answer. That sound had clearly reached my ears. The situation I was in right now was still unclear. Either I'd been possessed by the supernatural phenomenon known as Oyashiro-sama's curse, or this was a ruse by the villagers who believed in it and were imitating it. Either way, their motives were unclear. I didn't have a scrying eye, so I was unable to see if they had just cast greater invisibility in order to confuse me about the presence in the doorway with me. Suspicious indeed. The roundabout way it had been done was also still a mystery. If it was perpetrated by humans, that would mean admitting it was Reina and the rest of them doing it. But it would be solvable. Oishi-san and the rest of the police would surely arrest my enemy. But if it was a manifestation of Oyashiro-sama's curse, I wonder what would happen. Oishi-san very clearly declared that curses didn't exist. At that time, those words were pretty dependable, but as things were now, within the rising possibility that the perpetrators were not human, he suddenly seemed quite unreliable. If I told Oishi-san this was the work of Oyashiro-sama's curse, what would happen? I couldn't imagine his reaction, but it would go without question that a void would expand rapidly between myself and Oishi-san. We tried to attack the wind earlier too, but sure, an inhaling sound is proof. Yeah, right? Where am I? With me having so few allies to begin with, and not being able to confidently declare whether or not this was a curse or not, there was no merit to doing that. I'd better keep the facts of what just happened at the doorway to myself. It would be better if I didn't add what happened here to my memo on the clock. There was still the ever so slight possibility that I was actually confused when I thought I was composed, and I was just going berserk in the entryway. How wonderful would it be if that was really what happened? I would be able to refute Oyashiro-sama's curse. But if I denied Oyashiro-sama's curse, then that would mean admitting that Reina and the rest were the perpetrators. Wait. If I said that Reina and the rest weren't the perpetrators, then that would mean believing in Oyashiro-sama's curse. By denying both of those, I would be admitting that I myself was losing it. The three options from which I could choose became a trilemma of sorts. They mixed together and formed a whirlpool in my mind, making my head spin. Once again, I straightened myself and leaned my head back slightly to cool myself down. Calm down, Keiichi. Accept what has actually happened as reality. Stop thinking of anything more than that. But I couldn't help but think about it. How wonderful it would be if it turned out that I was delirious and everything up until now was a figment of my imagination. Oyashiro-sama's curse wouldn't exist, and I would still be bestest buddies with Reina and the rest. I would have to be crazy. That was the first time in my life I'd ever wished for such a thing. Please be the end of the chapter. I'm so tired. Nani? The phone rang noisily downstairs. Ring. Oh, I teared something. It was part of the tag.
Okay.
It was stuck under the wheel of my chair when I was trying to push the stairs away. It's fine. It's just paper. It's just paper. I just want to change the way I'm sitting because my back hurts. So I'm just going to roll my shoulders back. I'm going to give myself a posture check. Okay. Okay. Not so much shrimp as it's leaning tower of pizza tea. I was leaning to the side. It was hurting my rib cage. The phone rang noisily downstairs. Generally, there were no calls for me, so I never really answered the phone much. Okay, shush! Oh my god, it's so noisy! But since my parents weren't here, I had no choice. I squirmed out. Sorry for the burp. I squirmed off the bed and went downstairs. Did you hear my burp just now? I didn't project it, but it rumbled. It sure rumbled. Me just being like, sorry for the burp. Wait, did you hear my burp? Could you hear it? Did you hear me burp? A rumbly in my tumbly that only hands can satisfy. Actually, I am kind of hungry. I want a post-stream snack. You did not hear my burp. I'll have to project next time. Hello, this is the Maibara residence. Keiichi, this is Mom. I intuitively had a bad feeling about this. Oh, I think I remember what scene this is. It was because I thought she was going to ask me to go out and buy some things. You're looking forward to it. You're looking... So I took the initiative. What? I don't mind having instant noodles for dinner. Yes, parents calling to say they're not going to be home. Classic. There's still a lot of them. The other day, we went out as a family and bought a whole case of cup noodles. I wanted to get a bunch of different kinds, actually, but they refused since the individual packs were expensive. So instead, I got a whole case of the mega-sized pork bone and ginger flavored ones I like. That is a good flavor. Oh, I miss the pork flavored top ramen. The pork flavor was the best. It was the best.
Why did they stop?
Because we can't have nice things. That's why they stopped making it. We're not allowed to have nice things. Just toss in some egg and green onion. Oh my god, that sounds so good. Oh, I want ramen. But I can't have... Well, I have to check the contents for the carbohydrates. I might be able to get away with one package.
Yeah, if you do it earlier.
If I add... Well, if I add other stuff to it, like vegetables and egg and stuff.
Honestly, it's not ramen unless you do that.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just noodles and broth. Blech.
Which I mean,
I'm okay with that, but
but it just
my
adding
doctor is not okay with that.
adding the vegetables, adding like a cooked egg or even like a raw egg and letting it cook and steam.
No, I can't do the adding the raw. It never cooks properly.
Really?
I think it's so gross. If I do that to my own ramen, I will not eat it. I think it's disgusting.
Well,
I am particular about
hot
eggs.
fucking water.
I am extremely particular about eggs, though. They have to be dry. They have to be fried or dry. They cannot be wet in any way. It's gross.
Over easy.
Over
No,
medium.
I'm sorry, not over easy. Hard boiled. I don't know where my brain went over easy.
I don't know. I haven't had hard boiled in like a bajillion years. So when I was little, I used to eat it, but I'd only eat the whites. I'd pick off all the whites from my hard boiled eggs and leave the yolk behind because I don't like the texture.
I'm at a point. I don't need to
It's probably not anymore, but again, I'm not really interested in trying. I don't think that's enough. Anyways, I do egg salad, but only if it's made the right way. And by the right way, I mean the way that Riley makes it. That's the only way I do egg salad. But my parents don't like strong flavors and didn't touch any of them, so the cupboards were still full. So you see, there really isn't a need to go shopping, right? Keiichi, I'm not asking you to go shopping. Both Mommy and Daddy have to go to Tokyo right now because of work. Huh? Right now? This was really abrupt. No, we're already here. We left this afternoon. It's quite a distance to Tokyo from Hinamizawa. Gunning at full speed down the highway would still take 6 hours. Dad has a license, but since he doesn't like the highway, they likely took the train. It would have taken longer. I'm thinking you might understand since you heard us speaking last night, but it has to do with Daddy's contract. Right now, things aren't going so smoothly. Now that she mentioned it, I did remember that they talked all that time about his job prospects weren't looking so good. Daddy's really sensitive about things like this, so if we leave things as they are, it will affect his work. Part of my father's fragile artistic personality, his emotions changed as easily as the fall sky. You could also just say he couldn't take criticism. But something like that can be done over the phone. Keiichi, this is your father's job, so can you please support him a bit? Please? He's a freelance artist, must be tough. Listen.
Getting commissions is difficult.
Anyway, it's just faster to talk about it in person, so there wouldn't be any misunderstandings. As their son, there was nothing more I could say once they started talking about work. So, we'll be back tomorrow night. Keiichi, will you be fine on your own? It's not like I'll die or anything. Famous last words. Keiichi, you shouldn't speak so lightly of dying. If there's something troubling you, just talk to us. I believe Mommy will be able to help out. Yesterday I did bring up if I died abruptly, so I supposed they were a little worried. But really, I was more depressed by the fact that nothing would be solved by telling them. I didn't plan on dying. At least not while I still knew nothing. I would never allow it. I won't die. I won't. I'll survive, even if I have to gnaw my leg off. Yeah, see you then. Tomorrow morning, make sure to wake up. And eat your breakfast. And don't forget to take a bath and brush your teeth. Yeah, see you. The call ended like that. Sometimes my parents went off to Tokyo for business meetings. But Tokyo was far away. They normally did things by phone. It makes you think of the Team America movie. I've never seen that movie. The times they did go were normally planned out in advance. It never happened this suddenly. I couldn't say that those circumstances didn't feel strange, or rather unnatural. Anyway, I only needed to recognize the reality of the situation. That tonight, I was the only one in the house. That when my parents came back from work, I'd be gone. Missing. Vanished. Looking back on the series of events of the previous 5 years involving Oyashiro-sama's curse, it wouldn't seem that strange at all. Come to think of it, it was getting pretty late. I didn't think it was good that the only light on in the whole house was from my room on the second floor. It was the same as broadcasting to the enemy that my parents were gone and this was their chance. First, I ran to the living room and flicked on the lights and turned on the TV to a reassuring volume. Next was the study. I similarly turned on the lights and some music. With this, from the outside, it would look like my parents were here. Once again, I went through the house, checking to see if there was anything left unlocked. Yeah, you gotta home alone it. When I saw the veranda and the laundry still hanging out there, I went pale. That would have made it too obvious. I need to take it down. I snatched down the laundry haphazardly and erased all traces that my mother wasn't there. It should be fine now. The garage. They hadn't gone all the way to Tokyo by car, but they had gone up to Okinomiya Station. The garage was empty, wide open, and in plain sight. This was not good. I panicked and rushed out back to close the normally open garage door. It should be fine now. I needed to get the paper. Mom always got the paper. Since they left in the afternoon, the evening paper was still out there. My premonition was correct. I pulled out everything from the mailbox and dropped it in the entryway. With this, for sure this time, it should be fine. Oh. What are you doing, Harley Barley? Come to think of it, leaving the cupboard busted like that for my little freak out was kinda bad. I'll just say I tripped and fell, and the bat I was holding smashed into it. Even so, leaving it in its current state wasn't good. Yeah, we have a ton of packages by the door.
Did somebody order Amazon from the future?
I should clean it up a little before Mom got back and scolded me. I remembered that there was a broom and dustpan in the closet. As I was going to get them, the phone rang once again. Hello, this is the Maibara residence. Oh, is this Keiichi-kun? Is your mother around? She isn't here at the moment. You idiot, Keiichi Maibara. Don't reveal that your parents are gone. The phone ringing a second time in one day is already my worst nightmare. Oh my god, right. Just text me. You can follow up still. Calm down and take care of it. I think she'll be back soon. That wasn't a good response either. Now they might say they'll call again or to tell her to call when she comes back.
Then that's fine. It wasn't anything important. Well then, sorry for the bother.
The scenario I feared didn't play out, elicting a sigh of relief. That call was fortunate in more ways than one. I'd have to deal with more telephone calls coming from my parents tonight. I was somehow able to deal with the phone call just now, but I couldn't continue to rely on such poor improvisation. I needed to make up a good story to explain that my parents were home but couldn't answer the phone at the moment. They were making tempura and couldn't step away right now. That wasn't good enough. They were sick and went to bed because they weren't feeling well. Was that going to be safe enough? I was thinking about it on the way back to my room when the phone rang again. It was like they were calling because they knew I was going to lie. I didn't want to pick up, but I knew I had to. They'd suspect my parents weren't there. I should have just taken the phone off the hook under the pretense that I didn't realize that it was. But since the phone rang, I had to pick it up. I prepared myself and lifted up the receiver. Hello? I stopped announcing that it was the Maibara residence. I had no reason to be kind to someone I didn't know the identity of. But unlike my own uncouth voice, the person on the other side sounded goofy and lighthearted. Just pretend you have a dial-up internet. I think that was like mid to late 90s. Hello, my apologies for calling so late. This is Oishi from the Okinomiya bookstore. Oishi-san. Is that you, Maibara-san? Good evening. Good to hear you're doing well. Wait a moment, please. Okay, it is getting a lot later than I intended it to be. Oh, I want it, but I don't think I should.
Do you want to take your blood sugar?
Yeah, I'm gonna end stream in just a moment so I can check that in a minute. Oh, Harley babies. Breathe, honey. Breathe, honey. Come here. Breathe, Harley. Breathe. Breathe, sweet pea. Hey. Okay, I'm gonna save here. It's very late. I think we all deserve to get some snooze noodles in us right now. We're all gonna go sleepy bye. I'm trying so hard to keep my eyes open while I'm reading. I apologize. So we're gonna call it here. I didn't intend for it to go 4 hours, but here we are. This is the night that we have chosen. Yeah, puppy wants attention too. She's got some allergies, so I need to take her out and take care of her. I hope your voices and oh, thank you. I try to do voices.
Once upon a time, I wanted to be a voice actress. I wanted to be in video games and anime.
But it's fine. I can just practice them here when I'm playing the video games. But thank you guys so much for joining me tonight and for sticking around to the end of the stream and the end of the video. If you're watching this in the future, I hope you're having a fantastic time zones wherever and whenever you are. And then to my lovely, beautiful chat friendos who are here, thank you for hanging out with me and making tonight so much fun. You guys have a great rest of your night. You sleep well, have sweet dreams. You rest and relax and kick back and don't let Oyashiro-sama get you. You gotta come back tomorrow for Deathmark, okay? You gotta promise you come back tomorrow for Deathmark. Alright guys, good night. I love you.